Race. KJ here in my lucky hat. You think we'll get a little luck today, everyone? Good morning. Today is day 17 of the Lori Daybell trial. It's a lot to catch up on here, y'all. It's day 22. Now, day 17 is a testimony. But it's day 22 of the Lori Vallow Daybell murder trial. Ian Pawlowski, Lori's nephew-in-law, remains on the stand. The prosecution finished questioning him yesterday, and the defense plans to play, y'all. The defense plans to play secret recordings Ian obtained for police from Lori, Chad, and Alex Cox. Now, why? And I want to know if Melanie Pawlowski's voice is going to be on there, because we're not sure yet. But hey, listen to this, y'all. Melanie Pawlowski, is Ian's wife, is expected, y'all, to be called to the stand today at 3:45. Chad Daybell has a status conference for his case. It will be held in the same courtroom with Chad attending via Zoom. Nate Eaton wants to let everyone know that he'll be there for that. We'll let everyone know what happens. Also, Lori Daybell, the hussy, y'all, has entered the courtroom. She's wearing white pants with black stripes and a black top with a black sweater. She's chatting with her attorneys. Prosecutors are settling in at their tables. The public seating area of the courtroom is packed, y'all. And the bailiff is reviewing the courtroom conduct order with the audience and reminds everyone to turn their phones off. Good morning, Mom Jeans and Paul Top and Marge Somerville and Niecy Eden and Fish Face 123ism. Glad to see you here. Good morning, Carrie Ann Gibson, Chris Arnett, Vicki Johnson, NF Mom, Barb One, Maisie Kavanaugh, Melissa Krantz, Where Evil Is, Terry Ward. I think I got your handle wrong there. Little Lady Di, Dorothy, CC Johnson 67, Maria P, Cowboy Fast Draw, Miss E, Jenny Benny, Vicky McNutt, Barbara Spencer, Vix Tex, Olive Heatley, Angela, Dogmon, Arona Z, CHP, Back to Country, K-Tech, Tara Santmeyers, Marilyn Pastor, Bullseye, Need Some Z's, Wendy Woo, Carla Bergeron, Myra Anderson, Tina Wallace, Lisa Taglablu, Dire Bite PR, Rowan 2U, MN, The Daily Book Dose. Good morning, y'all. Jen, Bryn Marshall, Nancy Diamond, Tracy Corinne, Humble Mumbler, Heather Strock, Marty Morris, Debbie Hersko, Jennifer Sukup, Zenaida Rivera, Paula, Renee, Melanie Kwan, Anna Brown, Dina 333, Amanda Metters, True Court and Crime Junkie, Renee, Erna Aspis, Just Dee Dee, Kathy Benya, Heather Fowler. Y'all, today is going to be, we just got confirmation, y'all. This damn lucky hat of mine is working. And besides that, my hair looks like shit, okay? But I'm going to tell you, this lucky hat was on my head for a reason other than my hair looks like crap. And that is, we're going to get some serious testimony today, y'all. We got Ian. We got those recordings he did. And not to mention, it's been confirmed, y'all, Melanie Pawlowski, y'all. She's going on the stand. I guess the state will have a little kid gloves with her, but what happens when Archie gets a hold of her? Y'all heard him yesterday going off the deep end with Audrey Baratario. Folks, today is going to be a good day, not only for this, but it is Tammy Daybell's birthday. And by goodness, it is a perfect day for the chinster there to pucker that ass and get ready for his death penalty case, don't you know? So let's just all settle in. We're going to get to it. I thank Nate Eaton for all he's done. The attorneys are headed back into Judge Boyce's chambers. Lori remains at the defense table with her back to the audience as she writes on a notepad. John Pryor, Chad's attorney, is in the courtroom. Well, what do you think of that, TM? Ooh, good morning, Fierce Over 50. I like that. We were just talking about ages yesterday, and okay, Jay, I'm 52. I'm getting older, but I'm getting better, and so should every moment that we live life, y'all. It's absolutely a blessing. It don't matter what your age is. Every second of every minute, hour, day, week, month, year, the bottom line is you, my friends, are the only you're ever going to be. And you should celebrate yourself in healthy and good ways. Boom, 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 says Terry Ward. Woo-wee. Oh, yeah. Tara Santmeyer says, amen. Vicky Johnson says, age is just a number. That's right. And let's all keep in mind, today is Tammy Daybell's birthday. And it's a damn shame. She could have went on to do so much. I think one of you in the comments earlier, because I was looking, was saying that it would be a really good idea, if you feel so inclined, to give to the Tammy Douglas Daybell Foundation. You can find it online. All you have to do is go into the search engine. Give $5, give $1, anything. Her foundation is to spread literacy for children. She was a librarian, and I can't think of a better thing to give to in honor of Tammy Daybell and for all the children that would absolutely be given this benefit. I think it's a great idea. Good morning, Carrie Lynn. Melba says, happy birthday, Tammy. Y'all, the attorneys, they're all back in the judge's chambers with the judge. Again, the only thing I can think of on that is they're back there saying how their day's going to be laid out. Hello, Adair. Hello, Linda Keneal. That's why they make hats, says Linda Keneal. Yeah. Okay, Jay, I don't wear, a lot of makeup or anything like that. I'm just an old country girl from Tennessee. But I'll tell you what, I want justice through understanding. And the Rays have been there for me for 2 years. They've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it's more ugly than good, but I'll tell you what, old KJ's just glad to be alive. Sharon Davis says, I'm not donating anything to those Daybell kids. It's not going to be. It's Tammy Daybell's family, not Emma and all them. And the money goes straight towards childhood literacy. So I get what you're saying, but again, I myself have given. So, it's up to you. If you think that the money would be spent wrong or whatever, I'll tell you this right now. It sure as hell ain't going to go to Chad Daybell. I guarantee you that. It was Samantha William and her family, Tammy's parents and stuff are doing this for her. So, it is what it is. Oh my gosh, I said it already. It is what it is. I can't stand that. I don't want to say it anymore. But anyway, we're waiting on things. Yes, Tammy's sister and Tammy's niece formed the foundation, says the Bethy Boob. Thank you for clarifying that. Oh, good morning, Corey Joe. Yeah, Monique Dawn, I am too. I'm surprised Melanie Gibb and David Warwick are still married. But then again, David Warwick lives in Utah and Melanie Gibb lives in Arizona. Tells me everything I need to know, huh? Huh? Ann Gibson, I don't have it within me to put a link up for that. But after I get off the live stream today, I will go and Google that and I'll put the link on the community wall. But again, all you have to do is type in the Tammy Douglas Foundation and you should get right to it. Hi, Color Michelle. Hi, five boys, 5 VA boys. Yeah, that is what it is. Stuff puts you in a fighting mood. Well, I'll tell you what. I've been fighting my way through this case for 2 years, along with the Rays. And I'm not going to give up until I get every bit of what I can get to get justice through understanding. Yes, Miss Vixen says, Justin Lum interviewed Tammy's niece, Brooke, about the foundation. Yes, and you can find that on Justin Lum's Twitter, I do believe. You're right. I remember seeing that. Monique Dawn, Nate Eaton's already saying right here, he says, Melanie Pulowski, Ian's wife, is expected to be called to the stand today. So I don't know if they're going to have to see if she's broke that exclusionary rule yesterday. I thought that we were going to get an answer to that, but we never did. We know they did ask Ian a lot of questions, and Archie was able to ask him questions, and they allowed him to testify. I'm not saying she's for sure going to testify, but Nate's saying she's supposed to. What I'm trying to say is if she can get out of it, I'm sure she will. But then again, y'all, I got to take what I can get. If her voice is on any of those recordings acting like she's all in this with Lori and Chad, then it'll tell me what I already knew. Good morning, Kavita Diva. How are you? Ron Hensley, hello. Rosebud says, oh no, I didn't get a lot of sleep. I look like crap today, y'all, but hey, don't look at me. Just don't. It ain't about me anyway. It's about this case, and it's about all of us getting justice to understanding, whatever that means to you. Hi, Lisa, Jody Allen, all of y'all. Yes, that's right, Beverly. His hearing is today at 3:45 p.m. Nate Eaton says that Chad Daybell will be on a Zoom call in the same courtroom as Lori's trial's going, the same courtroom that Lori's being tried in. So I'm going to be keeping my eyes peeled for what Nate has to say. We were wondering about that. We were wondering, would there be audio of this, or would they have cameras in there? Obviously, Nate's saying he'll let everyone know, so I'm assuming that we're not going to get any audio. Maybe we will, though. The bottom line is that Chad Daybell's attorney, John Pryor, has been in this courtroom just about every day, and he's sizing up this state's case in chief. I think John Pryor is going to at least try for some kind of plea deal, I would think, but I don't think the state's going to go for it unless he gets life in prison. And just think about it like this, y'all. When Lori gets convicted, because I just know she's going to, and she gets convicted on all these charges, then John Pryor's really going to pucker in his ass. I'll tell you that right now. He's going to want to do something other than go to trial, because the way that this has been laid out by the state, the defense has already tried, Lori's defense attorney's already tried to say Chad was the one that really sucked Lori in and all this and that. So it goes, it's just logical that if Chad is tried, he'll say Lori sucked him into things. But we all know what Lori actually sucks, right? You know it. I know it. You know I'm telling it. You know I am. Tammy Douglas Daybell Foundation. Okay. Yes, it is, Liza Joe. This trial is crazy. And for people who haven't been following it for a long time, there's all this stuff starting to come out, and a lot of them are like using terms like cray-cray, crazy, I can't believe it, it's unbelievable. The reason I've been saying this for 2 years. It will be a miscarriage of justice, Stephen Shim, if Melanie P. doesn't testify. Attorneys are done meeting with Judge Boyce and are back at their tables, waiting for Judge Boyce to enter the courtroom. Good morning, Harley62. Good morning, CIM. You know, Carrie Ann, you always come up with thought-provoking questions, things that I would never think. To ask the question whether that was Audrey Barterio on the Ring doorbell. Could it have been her? Well, she was staying at Lori's until, what? Her friendship ended? Give me a break, y'all. There's been a lot of talk about this. And, you know, I'm sitting on the fence about it. I think a lot of what Audrey Barterio said yesterday was true. This whole thing about, you know, at the end of her testimony, talking about trash bags and bleach and all that stuff. The bottom line is that the state surely. The only thing I can think is back. Remember, we talked about it, Ray's, about how the defense was trying to keep her out and said she'd come back and to meet with law enforcement and stuff. And I remember saying, for sure, well, why didn't she say this stuff a while back? Why is she coming in now? What I'm trying to say is that, the state should have let the defense know this. So, we'll just see how that plays out. But it is the Tammy Douglas Daybell Foundation. Nate Eaton has put on here, he retweeted from that foundation saying, in loving memory, happy birthday, Tammy. Happy heavenly birthday, Tammy. You are so loved. You are so missed. We'll do our best to honor your legacy. Let's get some books in the hands of kids today. So hopefully people will go there and donate in honor of her. She didn't do anything wrong. She was a sweet woman. Yes, she was married to that asshole. But the bottom line is that whether you believe she knew he was crazy or not, the bottom line is she was murdered, and she had a lot of people that loved and cared about her. And she was a good person, in my view, from what all we know about her. It's sad. It's very sad that it ended like that for her. But something good is going to come out of it. Not only a conviction with Chin there, a conviction in Lori's case, conspiracy to commit murder on Tammy Daybell. I believe it. She can say all she wants she was in damn Hawaii. But you don't have to be in the same room, the same town, the same state, the same country to conspire to murder somebody. Hello, Rhonda. Spread love, not hate says, I think Judge Boyce is stalling because he's got to bring in the holy water. I wonder if anybody thought to burn any sage in the courtroom there before Lolo entered. Yes, Terry Ward, Audrey was almost brainwashed. I think from her testimony yesterday, when she's saying she believed that she was Joanna, Jesus Christ's wife, I think she'd already gone down that road. It was sickening. It was pathetic. I told all of y'all I felt like I needed to go take a shower. It was awful. Now, Boyce is on the bench. The court had a conference with counsel this morning in regards to a legal issue with the current witness, Ian Pawlowski. The issue revolves around the recordings Ian has. The defense wants to play them, and Boyce needs to decide if they are admissible. We will hear argument outside of the presence of the jury. So we're fixing to hear an argument between the state and the defense. And I guess the bigger question is, why doesn't the state want those recordings heard? Is it because of Melanie Pawlowski? Is it because the jurors will hear all these people acting crazy and saying crazy things? I'm trying to figure out, does anybody know why the state would not want Ian Pawlowski's secret recordings played? Come on, y'all. Give me some answers here. We're waiting. They're going to resolve these issues about Ian's recording. They're going to have an argument outside of the jury. Heather Strock says maybe they are worried it will cause a mistrial. Rosebud says hearsay. Maybe saving it for Chad's trial. No evidence on tape. that's a good observation. We were wondering why the state wouldn't want the podcast played, and my theory was Lori never said anything. She sounded so loving and sweet and all that. Yeah, the state obviously is going to think that it puts Lori in a good light somehow. I mean, anything the state is against in terms of entering into evidence from the defense, they should have thought of that when they started asking questions to Ian Pawlowski. Because when they opened that door that Ian was doing those recordings for law enforcement, it's just natural. And then you have to ask the question, why didn't the state play his recordings? There's got to be something to it, y'all. Heidi's Mind says a heavy blame on Alex. Little Lady Di says there's nothing with Lori and Chad confessing. Now, Jim Archibald argues for the defense. He says he asked for Ian to be dismissed completely and not testify at all. And Archie says since he was allowed to testify, he has said he was a snitch, a secret recording at the direction of law enforcement. Mr. Pawlowski has testified so far that he dated Melanie Boudreau for a couple of weeks, got married in Vegas, and then contacted law enforcement a week later. And at the direction of law enforcement, he became a snitch. Well, I'll tell you what, y'all. Ian's document and these recordings. Y'all know, Rage, y'all know I've said it. Ian is the key. I don't know exactly how, but that's what I've said for 2 years. DT says a snitch? Wow, he was the only sane one. Good point. Now, Archie says he's reviewed the recordings last night, and they've already been admitted as discovery. They're also listed on the state's witness and exhibit list. The recording we would like to play this morning is from Ian Pawlowski's recording number 9 on December 12th or 13th. Now, y'all remember, Alex Cox died on the 12th of December. December 11th was when they exhumed Tammy Daybell's body. So he's wanting the day of Alex Cox's death and the day after. That's what he wants played. It's a conversation secretly recorded by Ian. His new wife, Melanie, is talking on the phone, y'all, with Chad Daybell and Lori Daybell, and they're discussing several issues. They're discussing, y'all, the death of Alex, the religious issues, a blessing from Chad. And I'll remind the court, these religious issues are charged by the state as an overt act. That this conspiracy my client is being accused of is due in part to religious issues, religious beliefs. And Rage, y'all remember me saying it over and over again for the last 2 years in the murder indictment. They endorsed and espoused religious beliefs for the purpose of murder. And then we went over all those overt acts. And some of those overt acts were about Viola and other, there was all kinds of stuff that related to the religious crap that these people were spewing. And I said there was not going to be any way around it. That the state, they want to put it in the indictment, they got to hit it head on. And they've already introduced lots of this stuff through Melanie Gibbs, Zulema, David Warwick, Audrey Baratario. Folks, it needs to come in. And I don't think it hurts the state's case to do that. Archie says there are several hours worth of tape. This particular recording, y'all, is about 55 minutes long, and he wants permission from the court to play the recording. Okay, y'all, the recording is the best evidence, says Archie. It contains statements of the religious issues as alleged by the state. It contains the actual statements, says Archie. We don't believe a couple of statements Mr. Pulaski has made about the summary are a fair and accurate summary of what happened here, so we would prefer the best evidence, which is the recording itself, says Archie. So, folks, nobody wants to see the defense get their way, but I guarantee you, the bottom line is there's already been enough evidence in my mind that Lori's going down. And I want to hear this. And maybe it's selfish, but I'm telling you what, the bottom line is Ian brought it up in his document that was released, and now we're going to just see what the state says about it. That's right. Well, Jenny Benny, I don't know. That's what I'm asking all of y'all. If I had all the answers, I mean, I can give you theories, but y'all have got better answers than I could come up with, like it shows Lori in a good light, or it's, maybe they were saving it for Chad's trial. I don't know. I honestly don't. And Kathy Benya points out she still lied to cops. Zoe Archer says, I'm scared it'll backfire. Let me tell you what, if playing a 55-minute recording would undo the weight of what we've heard so far on her guilt, the hussy's guilt, I don't think so, y'all. I don't think so. And it's just like the podcast where Lori doesn't act crazy per se. She's not talking about zombies. She's with Melanie Gibb and Thor and Jason Mal. The defense got their way with that. The jury got to hear Lori when she wasn't talking all this garbage. So what? The bottom line is she's a murdering serial killer. 5VA Boy says, jurors will exercise common sense and see clearly, and I agree with that. And Cindy says, I want to hear it. And I think a lot of y'all want to hear it. Don't y'all? I do. If I thought that hearing this 55 minutes of recording was going to mess the state's case up to where Lori would get out of something, then I would tell y'all, I'd say, no, please don't play it. But I don't think it's going to matter. Now, Lindsay Blake is arguing for the state. She says it's objectionable to refer to Ian as a snitch. She says he was trying to help the police locate the missing children. Lindsay Blake says he was asked about making the recordings, but prior he was asked about some of the religious teachings that Lori had or taught to him. Blake argues the recordings are hearsay as there are multiple people talking on the recording. And Lindsay says, I do believe those would contain potentially self-serving statements, not in the sense she knew she was being recorded, but in the sense that the defense would use them for the truth of the matter. So there you go. The state thinks Lori would make, and the state knows what's in that recording. So I believe that's what they're leaning toward. That there's going to be some self-serving statements that's going to make Lori look less guilty. And in a sense, the defense would use them for the truth of the matter. And so Judge Boyce, all he has to do is say, give an instruction to the jury saying, this is not a recording that you're supposed to have the truth of the matter, right? I mean, all this time, John Thomas and Archie saying that's what we're trying to get to is the truth of the matter. But the bottom line is Judge Boyce knows whether or not he can play this or not. Archie responds to Lindsay Blake by saying that the statements of co-conspirators are not hearsay, so Chad and Alex's statements on the recording would not be hearsay. He says the state has alleged unknown conspirators, so Melanie Pulaski could be included in that. And how many of us think that Melanie Pulaski was a co-conspirator? Maybe not in the murders, but in the cover-up of all the criminality, all the things that Melanie Pulaski did. He says because of this, the recording should be admitted. And again, y'all, in the murder indictment, it says co-conspirators, known and unknown. And aren't you sitting here saying, well, hey, that could include Melanie Pulaski? And of course, Archie wants Melanie Pulaski to be looked at as a co-conspirator. The credibility thing there, y'all. But the bottom line is Judge Boyce is going to have to make a decision that will stand, where you ain't getting no appeals or nothing else. So here we go, y'all. Boyce is taking a recess to his chambers to discuss the issue with his staff attorney. He will come back and make a ruling. Why didn't they just do this before court started? They knew this shit was out there. Why does Boyce have to go talk in a recess with his staff attorney? Right, Heather Strock. It's just crazy. Yes, Terry Ward. Melanie Pulaski is. She's guilty. Yes, Heather Strock. They should have worked this out pre-trial. Just DD says, give me a break. Right. I agree with all of y'all. I believe they should have had this worked out from the get-go. They absolutely, after they got out of court yesterday, they could have attacked this back, and got this squared away for this morning's proceedings. They knew it was coming. They knew that the defense wanted it, so they should have. They should have ironed this out. Maria P. says, I want to hear it. RDNAC says he had all night to ponder that. Yes, RDNAC. Good point. Leslie Armstrong says, I'm so sick of these 4-day weeks. I don't know, Julie. Yeah. Carrie Lynn says, more delays, more BS. Y'all, I'm sorry. I can't make this go any faster, but, I'm doing the best I can. Daughter of Scotland says, let the recordings begin. Elizabeth Holmes, you're right. He's got to really be careful. This could cause a mistrial or an appeals issue. So even though OKJ is wearing her lucky hat, it doesn't protect me from my impatience. Because OKJ don't have it very often. They say patience is a virtue. Well, OKJ at 52 years of age is still working on that. Black Cat says, I want to hear the recordings too. Yeah, Bella Italia says, pray for the best decision there. Hi, Marianne Nolan. Well, thank you, Fierce Over 50. It's a Tennessee hat. I like camo. I guess it's the redneck in me, I guess. Oh, that's sweet, Astra. Renee says co-conspirator. Yeah, I know that, Carrie Lynn. I understand. DD Sunshine is reminding us this is Boyce's first real trial. It is a very high-profile trial. Thank you, Dylan. Yes, I'm a big Balls fan, big Tennessee Titans fan. And just an FYI, Tennessee Titans drafted Will Levis, quarterback from Kentucky. I'm very excited about it. I understand Ryan Tannehill. He's going to play another year in his contract, but I'm just very excited. Hi, Tina Reddington. Now, Lori is standing with her attorneys in a circle and passionately explaining something. Well, I'll tell you what, I'd be scared as hell to stay in a circle with Lori Hussey Daybell. But she's saying something passionately, explaining something. Wonder what that is. Archie, Don't let them take me away, Archie. I don't want to go to prison. I don't want to be another one's bitch. Archie. Or she's passionately talking about the navy polka dotted puffer jacket yesterday. It just really didn't give me, that feeling like I feel, So when you go to the next shopping mall, Archie, I want something a little more flamboyant. I want like maybe a little dash of red, it kind of reminds me of all these murders. And I want some kind of, fluffy. That's what I want. Lori's doing a casting with John Thomas and Archie. Let's get in a circle, y'all. Archie, John Thomas, yeah, now listen. John, you be the knives. Archie, you be the fire. And I'll be I'll do the volcano this time since I don't have Zulema anymore. Let's do this. Let's cast this case away from me so I don't spend life in prison. She's talking passionately to John Thomas and Archie at the moment while we wait on Judge Boyce. She's very passionate to John Thomas and Archie, don't you know? She's wanting to passionately say, they just have generic yeast infection medicine in the commissary. I need that high dollar stuff. The one-time treatment there. I need several packs of that because this stuff is growing. John, Archie, my yeast infection's just getting out of hand. It's starting to run down my leg. Nicole B says, yikes! Well, Earth, Wind, and Fire, do you remember? Yeah, I liked Earth, Wind, and Fire. The band, actually, but I know what you're talking about. Oh, y'all laughing at me? Y'all think OKJ's just doing a little comedy in between here, waiting for this Judge Boyce to get his head out his ass? Come on now. I'm sorry, Goodwill Squatter. Some of y'all are eating breakfast. Some are eating lunch and some are eating dinner. But I'm going to tell y'all right now, Lori is nasty. Nasty. Hello from England. Well, it's good to see you, my brothers and sisters across the pond. Hello, chatter. We're waiting on Judge Boyce, y'all. We're waiting on Judge Boyce. I'm sorry it's taking so long, but there's nothing I can do about it. But I will bring this up since this is Tammy Daybell's birthday. Some of your comments, I am going to read those to fill some air until they get back. And I am continually refreshing this page, so we're not going to miss anything. Mega Mall 88 says, here we see the vile treatment given to Tammy. A person with a huge kindness to children and helping them read and thrive in a learning environment. It made to feel safe and encouraged. And in her own bed, the corrupt perpetrator struck with clearly a barbaric extinction to life. And this is Mark McGarry, excuse me. The fourth victim in a known homicide series. How many more were hidden, not found out? Chad's scale of darkness. The prediction and ownership as self-declared power as over life and death. Everything that was Tammy taken away for life insurance money. The evidence as payout elevated to the maximum within the timeline prior to the homicide. And Ramona Feisty says, oh Lordy, beyond sad that Tammy's grandchildren, students who loved her and who she inspired in them the magic of books and imagination. This tragedy is far-reaching, far beyond Tammy's immediate family. Think of how she influenced thousands of students over the years in her service to teaching. The saddest part is students inspire their friends by sharing their love of books. This world cannot afford to lose such a valuable resource. And for what? So he could be with Lori for sex, financial greed, while the incalculable truth is beyond comprehension. Kate Fulmer says, I have this tremendous fear that Alex helped in the murder of Tammy. I can't imagine that. A strange man with your husband in your own bedroom, putting his hands on you, and your husband's not protecting you. Ann Gibson says, this is so brutal. Chad had no respect for his wife, the mother of his children, to think the last thing she saw was fear. This man is a danger to society. His children need to wake up. Not one of them should show him any support. Just cut him out of their lives. So sad. It truly is unbelievable what happened. And I believe if they had not been caught, they would have carried on. Now, Patricia Wynn says, you want to know my theory? The towel the coroner wiped Tammy's face with is the same towel that, didn't Chad say he wiped her face as well? That might have been the murder weapon Alex used while Chad held her down. It's a good theory. Patty Ann Spondering says, from pulling and positioning her body, sickening, they're all in this together. So upset over these devils. Poor Tammy and Charles and the kids, and I think Joseph too. Y'all, I'm checking, but they're not back yet. Candace Parr says she fought. Tammy fought. Might have been knocked off the bed onto the floor, then laid there until Taterhead picked her up hours later and posed her body. Then he waited a while longer and pushed her further and called his son. That SOB, his son just agreed with what Taterhead said. I think Chad posed and reposed her many times, waiting for a few hours each time. He was trying to make it look believable. Julie Coe says, I now wonder if Chad had physically abused Tammy in the past. Heather Daybell said the last time she saw Tammy in church, her and Chad were not sitting together, and Tammy kept her head down, and she looked upset. So it is about what y'all got to say. What you got to say is a hell of a lot more important than what old KJ says. That's right, Monique Dawn. Chad is a taterhead. He's a sling blade. Give me some of them French fried potatoes. Children of the corn, says McJett. Right, Andrew F. If they weren't caught, Chad would have been on the hit list, I'm sure, or at least divorced. Heather Daybell's interview is fantastic, says Vicky. Yeah, Janelle Murphy, they're going to need a bigger chair for him. Of course, they don't have the electric chair in Idaho. They have lethal injection, and a backup is the firing squad. I know, Astra, I love potatoes too. I love French fried potatoes too, but goodness gracious. Leslie Armstrong says, reinvention of the Manson family. Andrew F. says, death by potatoes. Good Grandma says, firing squad. Candace Parr says, firing squad, please. Y'all, I'm sorry that Judge Boyce didn't have this all worked out. He knew it was coming. Sharon McAllister, I really believe if there wouldn't have been a welfare check, more people would have died. If you want to believe Audrey Barterio's, her testimony that Lori threatened to murder her, just think of it like this. If there wouldn't have been a welfare check, they might have very well went after Audrey Barterio. Yes, I did see that. That Alex Murdaugh is saying that He committed insurance fraud by lying about that this Gloria Satterfield, his housekeeper, he said that was all a lie, that she tripped over a dog. And it's a disgrace, really, because what they're trying to do is basically keep the Gloria Satterfield's family from collecting anything else. I would say if that, and like, who would believe the man anyway? He is seriously a liar. He has no credibility, but just for sake of argument, you want to believe that? Well, I'll tell you what, if you can believe that he lied about her tripping over the dogs, then yeah, and you can believe that, then I say he murdered her for the insurance money. That's what I say. If he could murder his own wife and son, he could murder Gloria Satterfield, the housekeeper. He needed that money, don't y'all know? Well, thank you, Elizabeth Gregory. 2 reasons. One reason, my hair looks like crap, and number 2, it is KJ's lucky hat. Although, per se, I don't really believe in luck, but it is what it's going to be. I'm not going to say that other thing. I'm not. It keeps popping in that brain of mine. All right, y'all. Boyce is back on the bench, about to rule on whether the secret recordings can be played. All right, y'all. Here it is. We're fixing to find out. Judge Boyce is back on the bench, y'all. He's about to rule on whether the secret recordings can come in, y'all. Good morning, Josie. Julie Co says, let's go. Jack says, finally. Marilyn says, drum roll. CIM says, play them. Let's see what he says, y'all. I believe that Mohawk mom. Kay Woodcock, if she wouldn't have found that Amazon order, she'd have never found those kids. Isn't that interesting that it all led back to Charles Vallow? Maybe he was helping Kay in some way. Who knows? I'm still waiting, y'all. Little Lady Di says, bring it on. Nicole P. says she believes that Charles helped Kay know where to look. Hi, Heather Fowler. Marilyn Pastor, I'm sorry that the chat's going so fast, but I don't put things on slow mode. I don't like slow mode myself. If somebody on the chat says hello, KJ or whatever, and I've already posted something, it takes me, I want to be able to right away, But I apologize for any of y'all that's having a hard time with the fastness of this chat. Again, if y'all see anything derogatory, crappy, please ignore it, block it, or report it. Raise if y'all see any questions in the comments that y'all can help me out with that I don't see, or maybe I don't know the answer, please help me out. Barb 1 is reminding us that that's over 5 hours worth of recordings and that Archie only wants to play 55 minutes of it. Yeah, you're right, Dodging Bullets. Slow mode sucks. And besides that, y'all, this isn't a show. This is my iPhone in my house getting with all of y'all. It's sitting up on a shoebox with a hole in it where I can put my cord to keep my phone charged up. There's nothing fancy about OKJ. All right, y'all. Boyce says the recordings constitute hearsay and cannot be admitted. He says if on cross-examination, the witness contradicts what he said on the recording, it could open the door to having them played. Damn. Y'all are not going to get to hear it. Again, Boyce says the recordings constitute hearsay and cannot be admitted. He says if, on cross-examination, the witness contradicts what he said on the recordings, it could open the door to having them played. So Boyce is saying that if Archie or John Thomas can get Ian Pawlowski to contradict himself, then that would open the door. So he is letting the defense know, hey, if you want this in, this is how you're going to have to do it. It don't make sense now, does it? Judge Boyce will allow this stupid podcast with people that ain't even in this dang trial, like Jason Mao and Thor. He will allow that? I mean, isn't that hearsay? It's just one damn disappointment after another. Ian Pawlowski is being brought into the courtroom. His attorney, Garrett Smith, also enters and sits on the front row of the audience section in the courtroom. Jurors are being brought back in. And y'all, I don't know how good Archie or, well, Archie's not as bad as Thomas. But unless they can get Ian to say something that opens that door, I mean, maybe they can curtail their questions to him because they're fixing to cross-examine Ian Pawlowski. It is ridiculous, Nicole. You know, sometimes he says it's hearsay. Sometimes he says it's not. I mean, yeah, I know. I know that Judge Boyce is a judge. He's more able, and he even got one of his attorneys there, his staff attorneys, to help him make this decision. So he's covering his ass, y'all. Bella Italia says something may open the door to allow this. That's all we can hope for, y'all. That's all we can hope for. CSI, you're right. We have to trust the process, which at this point, I'm not 100%. But then again, y'all, this is the justice system here in America. It's all we've got. Margaret says, I don't trust the process. I trust tequila. Oh my goodness, y'all are so funny. Yes, we do have to have faith. Mom Jean says, no consistency. Kathy Benia says, Lori's toast. Nothing can save her now. Squeaky Wheel says the prosecution doesn't want those tapes entered, so we have to keep that in mind. Y'all know this is old KJ being selfish, wanting to hear the recordings, but the state doesn't want to see it done, and it's not currently, but the door might open. I forgot who just said that, said get Melanie Pawlowski under oath. Well, they got Melanie Gibb, David Warwick, and Zulema under oath. And I guarantee you they lied. They lied by omission, and they lied about other things. So if it's about somebody being put under oath, like they're actually going to really tell the truth, that's reality, y'all. You hope for that. But it's not always what it's cracked up to be. Yes, I do too. I want Melanie Pawlowski on the stand, Carol M. Maria P. says perjury, lock them up. Starry Crown says if the defense wants it, I don't want it. And that's what old KJ should be saying. But I've waited 2 years for this, and I know that playing that, if it didn't cause a mistrial or appeals issue, and they're able to play a podcast that the defense wants, I don't know why they wouldn't play it. I guess I just want answers. And that's selfish. The jurors are being brought in, y'all. So, Marcus, I don't know. I don't know if they swear on a Bible or whether, I don't even know if they even use a Bible or the Book of Mormon or, I think they just put their hand up and the person says, you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. I don't even know if they say, so help me God. Some states don't do it. Nothing yet, y'all. Kristen 09 says, as long as Larry, Kay, and Crush are all right with it. And I guess that's another thing we need to keep in mind, y'all. The victims' family members, what do they want? Jurors are in the courtroom, y'all, and Archie will cross-examine Ian. Excuse me. Nate Eaton says, correction, Thomas will conduct cross-examination. Even Nate Eaton can make a correction, y'all. Nadine says you just raise your hand. You don't use a Bible or a Book of Mormon or anything in Utah. Tina Reddington. Oh, no. John Thomas, the Get it out, John Thomas. Say what you're going to say. John Thomas asks Ian, how's he doing? And Ian says, as well as can be, I guess. Leave it to John Thomas to ask Ian, who's testifying for the state in a triple murder trial, how he's doing. Humble somebody says that Lori Daybell's going to be their Halloween costume this year. That's some scary shit right there, y'all. Could you imagine somebody dressed up as Lori Hussey Daybell on Halloween, or maybe Chad the Chin there? I mean, these are serial killers. You see something like that at night and you damn run like hell. Good morning, THX. How are you?
I'm fine, sweet.
What are you up to?
Headed to Mount Melbourne.
Okay.
That job up there, then I'll probably go back to Bell Buckle.
Okay. Y'all hold on a minute. I got to give my hubby a hug.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you. It's my baby.
See you in a bit.
All right, sweet.
Okay. Sorry, y'all. This is life. I'm in love. You know I am. Okay, now Ian explains he met Melanie in November of 2019. They dated 10 days before getting married in Las Vegas. These people sure do hook up real quick, don't they? Kim Top. Barb 1 says they have to get married before having sex. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You think Chad and Lori didn't have sex before they got married? Give me a break. They were bumping uglies the whole damn year in 2019. They were doing it to it. Nobody's going to tell me that Lori and Chad didn't have sex before they got married. Give me a break. Thomas reiterates that Ian asked Chad and Lori Daybell for permission before he proposed to Melanie. That's what these cult members do. If somebody comes in and they have to ask the cult leaders, don't you know, if they can marry one of their cult members. Ian says Melanie's mom passed away when she was young, and Thomas asks about the castings. Ian says there were references to it during phone calls that I heard. My understanding is with castings, you're trying to expel a possession or a bug type of possession where something would crawl into your ear. During castings, you would pray to force the possession out of the body. So, as the Rays remember in Ian's document at the beginning, there was all kinds of references to slugs and bugs and things of that sort. That's what he's talking about. Because, you know, Chad and Lori couldn't just be satisfied with saying things like zombies and giving the zombies names and demon possession. They had to go on to talk about bugs and slugs and Harry Potter and Dungeons and Dragons and all this crazy ass shit. Fierce over 50 says cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I'd say that's about right. All right, Tina Reddington. Tina's going to take her dingo out. Little Lady Di says bugs in the ear make zombies. Ian says he recorded the conversations with his new wife for 2 weeks, y'all. I'll tell you what, if I married a man and he was secretly recording me for 2 weeks and didn't tell me, his ass would be out the door permanently. We're talking about if I'm going to be married to somebody, I'm going to trust them. I'm not going to have them doing that shit behind my back. Only he and the FBI knew, he says. On December 12th of 2019, Alex Cox died. It was a significant day for Melanie as Alex was her uncle. Ian remembers having a phone call with Chad and Lori the day or the day after, but doesn't remember the specifics. So Ian's going along with this, y'all. He's not going to give specifics to the defense, i.e. open the door for the defense to be able to play this stuff. Ian recalls the day Alex died, Lori told Melanie to go to a place of safety. So she went to Ian's apartment and then went to the temple. Ian recorded the entire conversation Melanie had with Chad and Lori. And I mean, let's just make this clear. He is testifying that Ian recorded the entire conversation with Melanie, that Melanie had with Chad and Lori, and the jurors are over there going, okay, you know, the jurors are going to want to hear it, y'all. It's being brought in, and it's not right that they can't play it. You can testify about recordings you did for the FBI, but you can't hear them? Doesn't make sense to me, y'all, but then again, I'm no legal scholar. Right, Janelle Murphy, they should be able to. Are you kidding, Nusala, Salsa, or whatever? John Thomas is another name for a man's, you know what? Very interesting. You want to hear something neat and interesting back? I had an art teacher in the fifth grade, and his name was Mr. Biter. Do you want to know what his first name was? It was Dick. His name was Dick Biter, y'all. He was my art teacher. He was an excellent art teacher. But his name was Dick Biter. And the kids used to just laugh, laugh, laugh. Ian says the purpose of making the recordings was to get anything he could to help find Tylee and JJ. Ian says there were 9 recordings, and Ian says, I've heard bits and pieces of them. I haven't ever listened to them all the way through. Ian says he's never listened to them with law enforcement. The last time he listened was when he was summoned to the grand jury for Lori. He said he heard about 10 minutes total. So, y'all, we might get to hear 10 minutes total. You know why? Because it was played, 10 minutes of it, and the state knows which 10 minutes that is, was played to the grand jury. So there shouldn't be an issue with playing at least 10 minutes of it. Right, Cindy K. They should be able to play 10 minutes of it. If 10 minutes has been played at a grand jury proceeding that indicted Chad and Lori in murder, and Ian is sitting here saying, you know, we'll see what he's got to say. The snippets Ian heard included conversations with Melanie, Alex, Lori, and Chad. One time Melanie was sick, and on the call, Lori said she folded Satan up in a taco and locked him in a box in Antarctica. Do y'all want me to repeat this? I'm going to say it. Lori told Melanie Pulaski when Melanie Pulaski was sick, Lori was going to help Melanie Pulaski, and she says, I fold up Satan like a taco, and I'm locking him in Antarctica. Give me a break. The only taco here is that soggy-ass, loose-ass taco that Lori's got between her legs. Ian said spiritual attacks were coming for the next 2 weeks, and then things would calm down. Y'all, Lori wants to talk about folding Melanie's sickness up like a taco and sending it to Antarctica. Y'all, these people are nuts. They're sick. They're twisted. Give me a break. Her fishy smelling taco, says Bismo Funyuns. Yeah, shriveled up taco, says RDNAC. Double-decker Supremes. Double-decker Supreme taco, says Andrew F. Oh my gosh. Maria P says a loin fire taco. Oh, y'all. I'm so glad that old KJ ain't going to be visiting Antarctica. No, don't want to go there. Ian gave Melanie a blessing when Alex died. Thomas is asking about a blessing from Chad and Lori. And Ian says, blessings were flying around like flies. Blessings of comfort to remove dark blessings. To remove dark blessings? Is that an oxymoron? Dark blessings? When I called Chad to ask for Melanie's hand in marriage, Chad gave me a blessing to shield me from darkness, says Ian. I do not think, y'all, just when I think I've heard it all, we're talking about a taco, y'all, in Antarctica. That's what we're talking about here. Have you in your lifetime, in any time, watching a criminal trial or seeing anything in the news of a criminal nature that anyone's ever discussed, folding someone's sickness up like a taco and sending it to Antarctica? Oh my gosh. These people. Deb Wagner says, it's all new to me. Oh, Brittany says, what the heck? Oh, Starry Crown's laughing. Starry. You know, Lori, she always had that vision of a taco in her head. She could have said anything, y'all. She could have said anything. I'm going to take your sickness, Melanie P., and I'm going to put it in the branches of broccoli. Oh, my goodness. Iffy Angel, be careful. Ian says there's no shortage of people in Melanie's life who will take advantage of her. Oh, and I guess Ian didn't take advantage of Melanie Pulowski by marrying her so quickly. He knew she was vulnerable. Men ain't stupid. They know when a woman is vulnerable. Thomas asked if Lori was taking advantage of Melanie, and Ian says he believed that Lori was. And y'all, the bottom line is, get for real, y'all. Does anybody want to accept personal responsibility as an adult? I mean, Ian is testifying that Lori took advantage of Melanie Pulowski. Well, I'll tell you something. Melanie Pulowski sure did take advantage of her time in Hawaii instead of going and trying to get her kids back. And by the way, it was what? The day before Alex, or maybe it was the day after Alex died, Melanie Pulowski had a child custody hearing and she didn't go. You know why she didn't go? Because God told her not to go. Give me a break. Chad and Lori told Melanie Pulowski not to go because they didn't want anything, they didn't want anyone looking their way. Thomas asked how Lori has manipulated Melanie Pulowski specifically. Well, let's find out, y'all. I mean, this is coming. I'm sorry, but I got to say it. Ian is going to go to Chad and Lori for permission to marry Melanie Pulowski, and now here he is saying they took advantage of her. If he's saying it while he's with her at the time, the bottom line is he allowed it. When he married her, he should have... I'm not even going to go there. Y'all know where I'm going with that. Ian is answering John Thomas because John Thomas wants to know how Lori had manipulated Melanie Pulowski. Ian says, in the 2 weeks I was meeting with them, there were a lot of things that came about that Lori wasn't exactly being truthful with Melanie. She was telling her that Brandon is dark, that law enforcement officers are dark. Melanie should have been cooperating with that she shouldn't be cooperating with dark beings when in reality, or she should have been cooperating. Not Nate's spelling here. Melanie should have been cooperating with law enforcement. These officers were trying to find 2 missing kids, and what happened with the shooting of Brandon Boudreaux. So basically what Ian's saying is Lori manipulated Melanie Pulowski by saying, don't get involved with these dark canes, these dark beings, these law enforcement officers, when in all reality, Melanie Pulowski should have been cooperating. Isn't it interesting, though, that Ian records for 2 weeks without telling Melanie Pulowski when he could have immediately involved her and said, Melanie Pulowski, my wife now, I'm going to police. My ex-wife Natalie's all freaked out. Let's go together. No, that didn't happen. Thomas asked Ian if Chad and Lori ever said anything bad about him. And Ian says he says they did not. Thomas says based on Ian's purported lack of knowledge about what was recorded on December 12th and 13th, he asked boys to allow Ian to listen to the recording. Prosecutors request a sidebar. White noise is played in the courtroom. So here's another shot. The defense is saying. They're saying because based on Ian's purported lack of knowledge about what was recorded, what they're talking about, this 55 minutes, he asked Boyce to allow Ian to listen to the recording. To do what, y'all? Refresh his memory. So we are in a sidebar. We are visiting this issue about these recordings once again. Right, Maria P. Play the 10 minutes that was played at the grand jury. That's better than nothing. And it would be legal. That's right, Jay. How many sidebars and judges' chamber shit do we have to go through before we actually hear something? Well, y'all, the defense wants to play this stuff to make the jury see how crazy she is since they are not able to use the insanity. It's a good theory there. Beach Bum, I think the state's case is good. It's not as good as I wanted it to be, but it's enough. I think the jury is going to convict Lori. I do. It isn't because I want her to be convicted either. I'm looking at this realistically. Yeah, Shelley Hendershot, you're right. Idaho is knee-deep in murder cases. You got Brian Kohlberger, other people that have murdered. I don't know what it's. Some say it's in the water. I don't know. It's been 5 minutes, y'all. Still in a sidebar about Ian listening to these recordings, y'all. Rowan T. says, we want to hear Lori talk about tacos in Antarctica. It's almost kind of hard to say. Tacos in Antarctica. Tacos in Antarctica. Say it fast. They're back. Sidebar is over. Boyce says he's denying the request to play the recording at this time, and Thomas continues questioning Ian. They're trying, y'all. The defense is trying to get it in. Cindy, Judge Boyce wouldn't allow her to go on the stand and sit there in front of those jurors and say, I plead the Fifth Amendment. That would be very inflammatory toward the case. He wouldn't allow that. He wouldn't allow it. It would be prejudicial. I do not want to see any appeals, and I don't want to see a mistrial, y'all, but when it comes to this type of serial killer, freaking cult fanatic crap. I'm one of these firm believers that, light is a disinfectant and that they should be very transparent. People need to know these people are out here, y'all. This isn't just some one-off situation. I'm sure there are people out here that believe that someone's sickness is folded up like a taco in Antarctica. I'm sure there's other people that believe that. Zulema called Melanie Pulaski and told her that Alex had died. Melanie then called Lori and Chad, according to Ian. Ian recorded the call. He says he was trying to record as many calls as he could without looking suspicious. Melanie was distraught when Alex died. Ian says she was crying and felt like she'd been attacked by spiritual demons. She had been told by Chad and Lori that there was going to be a spiritual attack that day. With Alex dying, that confirmed it. So Chad and Lori's telling Melanie Pulaski because Alex Cox died that there was a spiritual attack that day. And Melanie Pulaski's believing everything they're spoon feeding her. So not only is Melanie Pulaski all upset that her uncle Alex, who to me is an instrument of murder, and think about it like this. This was after the welfare check. So Melanie Pulaski knew that the children were missing. Wonder if we'll ever know what her excuse for not going to law enforcement, or at least getting away from her Aunt Lori. I guarantee you, if Lori and Chad wouldn't have took off to Hawaii like they did, Melanie Pulaski would have been right up her Aunt Lori's ass. You can be sure of it. I have no clue how Chad and Lori knew there was going to be a spiritual attack that day. Then Alex died, Ian says. There's reality, and then there's layers of spiritual explanation that were laid over reality. Chad and Lori gave Melanie a blessing over the phone after Alex died, but I don't believe a spiritual attack killed Alex, says Ian. No, I don't either. I think no one will ever know, y'all. I mean, we went over the autopsy and the toxicology report of Alex Cox. I'm telling y'all right now, Alex Cox murdered himself. He committed suicide, basically. That's what I think. Or Zulema helped it along. One or the other, but I'm pretty sure Alex committed suicide. This was not, you don't go from December 11th, Tammy Daybell's body's exhumed and everybody finds out about it, to the day after Alex Cox is dead. Yes, Maeve TM or whatever, Nate does say Melanie Pulaski's testifying today. But then again, Nate said at the beginning that we're supposed to hear recordings. Well, they ain't being played. He's reporting what he thinks is going to happen. Thomas asks if he recalls Chad and Lori saying they would put shields of light around Melanie after Alex died. And Ian says that sounds like something they would have said, but doesn't specifically recall. On the 9 recordings, Ian says there was a handful of blessings done over the phone. Ian was brought into the blessings. Now remember, Rays, when we saw Zulema's police interview, and she talked about when Chad and Lori left for Hawaii, that Melanie P. was pitiful. Melanie P. needed her next fix, basically. So anytime that Melanie Pulaski could get on the phone with Chad and Lori to make herself feel better, she told them one time before she was sick, she needed Chad and Lori to heal her. That's how far in Melanie Pulaski was. Thought reform, i.e. brainwashing? I'd say so. But the bottom line is this woman had talked about it many times. About, well, not many times, but she did talk about telling Lori to get life insurance on her kids. Well, I mean, and she's talking about all this other stuff. They didn't have no need for Melanie Pulowski anymore. Their original plan was to get her to get that life insurance from Brandon when they took him out. Well, that didn't work. Melanie Pulowski was going to be expendable. She didn't have nothing to offer Chad and Lori. She didn't have any money. John Thomas asks if Ian ever remembers putting hands on Melanie's head for a blessing while Lori and Chad were on the phone. He says he doesn't recall, but if Thomas told him it happened, he would believe it. Thomas has no further questions. And Ian absolutely could have remembered something like that, y'all. Blake has no redirect questions. Ian is released from the stand, and Thomas asks that Ian remain under subpoena as they may call him during their case. So there you go, y'all. John Thomas says, given the posture of Mr. Pulowski, we believe it's unlikely he come back. Should we need him to come back, that he come back. It's unlikely he will come back. Should we need him to come back, we're asked that he not be released from his subpoena. Blake wants him dismissed from the subpoena, and Ian will be released from the state subpoena, but before he leaves today, the defense will issue him a subpoena. Garrett Smith, Ian's attorney, tells Blake that Ian will come back if served a subpoena. Ian leaves the stand, and the next witness, y'all, is Taylor Ballard. Taylor Ballard. Trace on the case, Tina Reddington. We know who this is. Taylor Ballard. Who is this, y'all? I know the name, but I don't know it in context. Taylor Ballard. Rainy April says it's the insurance lady. Yeah. Ballard Insurance, says Rainy April. And y'all, I don't think this is about the actual insurance fraud. I think this was someone who, oh, okay, Tina. Trying to figure out who this is, y'all. I think Rainy April's correct. Yes, Tina. Ian's testimony's over and done with. The defense says that they're going to issue him a subpoena for their case. Christy Babb says insurance company. This might be about, was it Taylor Ballard who went over on that property or no? Health insurance in Rexburg, says Mother Bear. She is the insurance agent Says breathe in bones 111. Beach Bum, no, you can get Alex's autopsy. I mean, we went over it, 2 years ago? He had no drugs in his system except for the Narcan, the EpiPen, that thing that helps shock and get people's heart going again. And everybody laughed at OKJ because I thought, well, maybe he did that with the Narcan. Ballard works as a health insurance broker in Rexburg. Thank y'all. Chad Daybell was his client. Ballard met with Chad on October 31st of 2019. He came in and asked about obtaining health insurance effective November 1st. The health insurance he had expired the day before because his wife's policy was over after she died. Chad asked for insurance for him and some of his adult children. Just looking, I don't think many people believe in Alex Cox's cause of death and manner of death. Yeah, I would say Chad would go in to meet with a health insurance provider, or any insurance for that matter. He just racked up big. He hit the jackpot, $430,000 of blood money. And just remember, that's October 31st, so that's 5 days before him and Lori get married. Mom James, that's a great question. Why would you need health insurance if you can heal? And besides that, why do you need health insurance if it's going to be the end of the damn world? Give me a break. These people were moving on with their life. There was nothing about this bullshit doomsday stuff going on. Diamond Eyes, I'm not sure how that, the death signature not signed, I don't know how all that works. Maybe somebody in the chat can help you with that. Chad said his income in 2020 was going to look different now that his wife was gone. You damn right. Because Tammy Daybell was bringing home the bacon. She was the breadwinner. Ballard told him that they don't normally apply people for Medicaid, but given the nature of his situation and his wife being a previous client, she would apply him for Medicaid in January. And y'all, Medicaid is based on your income. I wonder if they include the $430,000. And I wonder if this woman is going to get him applied for government assistance on health insurance, and his ass is going over to Hawaii having the damn time of his life. She arranged insurance for him and the kids in November and December, and Ballard went to enroll Chad in Medicaid. The income numbers they had were higher than what he told her. And of course, these people are crooks. Crooks. They go on and on and on about how government's so intrusive and the government is so dark and everything, but they don't have a problem sucking off the tit of the government. Give me a break. Health and Welfare asked Ballard to get Chad's tax returns to see what his income was. Ballard texted Chad and said he needed the tax form, and Chad responded that he was out of state all week, but it would bring the tax form the following week. And y'all know where he was at. He was on the beach with Lori, spending Tammy's blood money. At some point, Chad brought in the tax return, and the Health and Welfare said he did not qualify for Medicaid, but a tax credit instead. Well, there you go, Chad. You don't get your freebie. And let me just be clear. There are a lot of people that need government assistance. If I could get it, I'd like it. The bottom line is there are a lot of people that are getting government assistance that damn well deserve it. But this damn asshole here doesn't deserve it. On November the 21st, Ballard texted Chad and asked him to come in to discuss coverage. He came in and Chad asked if he was to get married, how hard would it be to add his wife to the policy? I told him that it wasn't a problem to add a spouse, but we'd need to do it within 60 days of the date of the marriage. Chad said at that time it was just him and his son Mark who needed coverage. And technically, y'all, even though the children had been murdered, Chad Daybell was the step-parent of JJ and Tylee. Right, language of horses. Interesting, to say the least, really. Yeah, we all remember what Lori did to Charles. You know, all of this has to do with I couldn't have said it better. Sex, money, and power. That's all it was. Now, Ballard emailed Chad his coverage plan options. Fremont County Deputy Prosecuting Attorney Tanya Rollins is questioning Ballard. They are, Tanya. They're professional criminals. They know how to damn milk the system. They know how to commit all kinds of financial crimes. It's in the indictment, don't you know? I'll tell you one thing. There ain't no way. There ain't no way that God Almighty is telling Chad Daybell this is okay to lie to people and commit these financial crimes. Rays know what I'm talking about. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not bear false witness against your neighbor. Should I go on? Vicky McNutt, he was trying to get Lori health insurance, which is different than life insurance. But I'm sure Lori and Chad both would have at some point taken out life insurance on each other. Breathing Bones 111, will Chad have to pay back the life insurance money that he's got fraudulently? Well, if he's spending life in prison and he can only make about 50 cents to $1 a day, it's going to take him a while. Because I don't know how he would pay back the $430,000 that he stole through murder. Now, Ballard asked to look at her notes. The defense and prosecution have a right to see notes before a witness looks at them, so Thomas is now reviewing them. God, y'all, I'm tired of all this shit. I really am. I just want them to have some continuous testimony. That's what I want. I know I'm being unrealistic, I'm being impatient, but it just gets on my nerves. Yes, Bella Italia. He is. I think it's more than one count of insurance fraud. And Lori, her financial crimes, obviously, is Social Security fraud. And, she's got several counts of them. What, grand theft by deception? Let's get clear about this. This testimony right now is about health insurance, like going to the doctor. This isn't life insurance. So this is what we're talking about here. He's wanting to get a new health insurance plan because guess what? He was probably on Tammy's health insurance at her job at the school. And now she's dead. And that $430,000 can only go so far. And I don't know about y'all, but health insurance and like medical insurance and stuff like that, it's not cheap. Kristen09, are you saying that Chad was really searching to put his wife on medical insurance because she had herpes and gonorrhea, she had syphilis, she had all these STDs, and she just couldn't afford her yeast infection medicine. She used so much of it, you know. Momo Shark, Chad Daybell is going to a insurance agency to try to get the health insurance, the medical insurance. He doesn't have to, he can be self-employed, i.e. an author / cult leader. Olive Haley says Lori needed a taco tuck. She needed vaginal reconstruction. All them husbands, and then, she can't feel Chad very well. So she's got to go back, and they need to add a few stitches in it so that little itty bitty gherkin, she can get something out of it. Gotta tighten up those beef curtains. Oh, guess what, y'all? John Thomas asked for a sidebar. Oh, gosh. You would think John Thomas would be asking for a salad bar or a food bar instead of a sidebar. Oh. There's a new STD in the world, everyone. It's all new now. It's called the loin-fire STD, y'all. It starts out when you are already loose, and this is pertaining to women. And that loin-fire thing, the loin-fire STD, it's one of them things that, while you're in the middle of doing your castings, when you're talking about fire and everything, there's inflammation down there, y'all, that feels just like a fire burning. And to top it all off, you can't get relief from that burning because you don't live close to Antarctica. Burns like hell, says Maria P. T Diva says Lori needs a husband with a job. Well, I'll tell you something. Why would Lori want a husband with a job when she can murder people and suck off the government of the Social Security benefits? Not to mention whoever she marries gets their blood money from insurance fraud. Why go out here and make a decent living? Why not go out here and get a job, Lori? You are a hairdresser. Go to Supercuts. Open up your own damn salon. Chad Daybell, get for real, man. Your damn writing sucks. Go out here and get a job at the cemetery. You dig those graves so well, don't you? And if you can't get one there, Chad Daybell, take your ass to the nearest burger joint and flip some damn burgers. But don't be murdering people for money. Boyce will allow the witness to refer to her notes. She can look at her notes to refresh her memory, but then must close them when she testifies. Good point to her. The top 5% work. Let me tell you something. This whole concept that some of these people out here like Lori and Chad and others that think they're better than everyone else, they need to come and get into old KJ's face. I'll show them who's boss. I'll show them. You don't tell me that you're better than me. Nobody's better than anybody. Everybody is on an equal playing field in this world. And you know how I know it? And this is just my belief. Jesus died for everyone, no matter who you are. And he sees all of us equal, the same. Ain't nobody better than nobody else. That's right, Season of the Witch. God is the only one above me. That's right. Amen. And I'll tell you what, I've seen it till I can't see any more of it. The Rays know what I'm talking about. We've been going over this case for 2 years. These people, they act like they're so much better than everyone else. Well, I'll tell you what, Lori Hussey Daybell, your ass is sitting at a damn defense table right now in a triple murder trial, and your ass is going to prison for the rest of your life. And when you walk into that prison around all these other women, and you act like you're better than them, they're going to beat your ass, Lori Hussey. Now, Ballard says everything she gave law enforcement, everything she had on Chad Daybell. Thomas interjects with an objection and asks that Ballard be excused as a witness. We're now having another sidebar. Y'all, the weekend can't get here quick enough for OKJ. I got a mess load of people coming over here on Saturday for a fish fry. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to eat the hell out of some catfish. I'm going to have a good time. And I ain't going to have to worry about these dumbasses on here. Damn, having sidebars and long lunches and days off and recesses and everything else that equal up to more than freaking trial testimony. It is. CHP, this is painful as hell. Andrew F., you're on a roll today. I guarantee you, Lori ain't just got crabs. She's got those bugs, don't you know? The ones that were talked about in Ian's testimony that crawl into your ear. Lori's got those everywhere. She's got bugs everywhere. Up her cooch and everything else. Lori's got the bugs, y'all. The evil-ass bugs. And you know how those snails leave the slimy little trail behind them? Well, Nobody knows whether or not she's got snails, but they do see a slimy trail there. Oh. Astro says Hussy needs delicing. Those diabolical critters, says Corey Joe. Denise goes, ew. Coaching cooters. The taco bugs. And I guess that means that Chad's got the what? The cockroach. Chad Daybell has cockroach. We're in another sidebar, y'all. Y'all know it. You know it. Throw some salt on that slug, says just me. All right, y'all. Boyce is back on the bench. He's going to review the insurance agent's files, so we're having a morning break at 10:45. So it's 10:22 right now, so damn. We get our morning break after millions upon millions of sidebars, y'all. We get judges. Is that my cat? Hold on, somebody's at the door. What's up, man?
Good morning. Do you have 25 sheets of printer paper?
Printer paper.
I just need 25
Yeah,
sheets.
yeah.
We got print
Sure.
off a file.
Yeah, man. I got some printing paper.
I'll give you some back when I'm store.
That's cool. Be cool, man. I got this live stream going. I don't want you saying anything. All these nice people out here. You want to say hi to them? There's 1,000 on here. You don't want to say hi? You just woke up?
Yeah, I'm on vacation.
Well, you do look like shit.
Alright.
No, I'm kidding.
Thank you.
All right. Are you going to be here Saturday?
Yeah, my daughter will be here too.
All right. That's great.
Thank you.
See ya. Neighbor needed some printer paper, y'all. I'm at home. What can I say, y'all? Hi, Katara. Hi, Sarah Schultz. Hi, who cares? Hi, Love Blanche. Well, y'all, out here in the country, these people, they live across fields and stuff, but they'll walk their ass down here to borrow something. And it is what it is. You always be neighborly. You give whatever if someone asks you for something and you're able to give it, you do it. Because I'll tell you what, there have been times in my life, and there'll still be times that I might need help or need something, something. Heck, I might even need being out here instead of having to drive to town, which takes 15, 20 minutes to get to a grocery store. I might need an egg, or I might need a cup of sugar or something. You know what I'm saying? So it's always good. It's a good system. It's neighbors helping neighbors out. I am not nasty. I'm just having a little fun. We're adults here. This live stream has been set where no children are supposed to be able to get on here. Joe, there ain't nothing like that going on out here. And let's see. Yeah. A cup of printer paper for your neighbor, right? Yeah, well, Tina, not everybody that you're neighbors with, and of course y'all know, OKJ, neighbor to me means everyone, including all of y'all. It isn't just people that live near you, but I know what you're talking about. There are some neighbors that will smile in your face and stab you in the back, but you keep doing what you do, representing yourself as a giving, caring person the best that you know how to. I know, y'all. I know KJ's not always like that, but you know, it's not going to be that what I was fixing to say. I'm not going to say that. You know what I'm talking about. That's sad, illegally blonde, that people are stuck up. Those type of people I don't want to know anyway. Most of the people in this area are really just cornbread fed, down to earth. April Gann says, "You're my kind of nasty. It's all in fun." And yeah, I don't want anyone to think that I'm being offensive or anything. But then again, they don't have to be here either. If anything I say offends anyone and it really makes them uncomfortable, they really shouldn't be here. I wouldn't want them to be here. I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable, honestly. What do you want? What do you want? You want to get up my lap? Come here. Are you mama's girl? What? You want to go outside? What? You want to go out? Oh, she's so sweet. Y'all, this is my mother's cat. Her name is Miss Kitty. She's elderly. I think I showed her to y'all before. But she is elderly, and she's my mother's cat. When my mother had her funeral, I had to go by there and pick her up. So she's strange. She really is. It took her a while to get used to being here and being away from my mom. But she's a good girl. Okay. Come on. She's really precious. She really is. She showed up at my mother's a few years back, and Mom went all over the neighborhood looking to see who owned her. Nobody in her neighborhood, and she's like got a subdivision that's all close together, several blocks. She went everywhere looking, and nobody ever claimed her. So Miss Kitty just found her way into my mother's heart. And it's just sad, really, that my mom's still not here to enjoy her. But we're all gonna die one day. That's why I try to make the best of my days. Thank you, Lisa Taylor. Mohawk Mom, I've got a whole closet full of my mother's clothes hanging up. And I've actually wore some of her stuff on my pre-records and live streams. So, yes. And some of the furniture that was left to me still had stuff folded up in it. So, and also a huge bag of quilt pieces that she had cut from different patterns and stuff. So one day I hope to be able to learn how to quilt, to make a quilt, because she made several for me over the years. That's pretty funny, Miss Trolley. I don't even know how to say that. Molly's mom's has been 20 years ago today that my mother passed away. Yeah, we've got a lot of people over the last 2 years that have talked about ones that they've loved and still miss them like it just happened. So... Arna Anspish, is Chad's hearing being put off till tomorrow? Really? I thought it was going to be at 3:45 this afternoon. I don't think you see my comments, KJ, says Roxy. Maybe I'm not being able to read them all, y'all. I apologize. Ernest says, I heard that earlier. I could be wrong. Well, Nate said on here that it was at 3:45 today and he would let everyone know how it went, because Chad is going to be on Zoom in this courtroom after everyone's dismissed after today's testimony in the Lori Hussey trial. Yeah, Little Lady Di says they said 3:45. Yes, the Bethy Boop. Thank you for saying that. Y'all, this is my home. This isn't a show. This is a channel that was opened 2 years ago to hopefully get 20 or 30 people to go along with me on this case. And I appreciate everyone who showed up. It's really nice. But again, it's just me. You know, it's just me here. Molly's mom, you say, I wish I'd have found you earlier because you was following this case alone. That's exactly when I opened the channel. I told all the people that started showing up, I was like, I could have done this all by myself. I'd done this with Jodi Arias. I'd done a crime board and all this other stuff. And I could have done it alone, but I thought, well, let's give this a shot. Maybe I'll get at least 20 or 30 people to help me through this who are a lot more smart than me and who can help me with their perspective, because I couldn't think of everything to say about what I was seeing in terms of the evidence that was being presented throughout all of this. I couldn't read that because it goes up so fast. But for the person that just said that I never see your comments, listen, I'm not ignoring anybody in here. I can see the comments, but they're going very fast. And OKJ's not really good at this. I'm trying though. So if you feel like I'm not reading your comment, you're wrong. I'm just, it's not that I'm not reading it because it's you or whatever. It's just going pretty fast. And that's why. So please forgive me if you think that. I wouldn't want anyone to feel unwelcome, and I wouldn't want anyone to feel like I'm ignoring them, because I sure as hell am not. Yes, Sarah Woolsey. Yes. Yeah, there are several people in here, and I never expected it to be like this. I just wanted to, the Rays and I had been researching this for, 2 years? I keep saying it because it means something to me. And then when we found out there were no cameras in the courthouse, we were all trying to scratch our head. How are we going to do this? Because we knew the audio would come out at the end of the day, but that's a lot of audio for one day. 6 hours? So what are you thinking that you're going to do, you know? And then I wasn't even thinking after the opening statements that this was what I was going to do. But after that first day, I thought, well, this is the only way I could really get back to all the times that the Rays had been there for me. And so I basically talked it over with my husband, because you know what, folks, I run a business. I am the freaking secretary of a huge construction company. And I've got to get all that stuff done, bid estimates, contracts, payroll, all that. And I talked to him about it, and I said, well, we could churn this around where I get a lot of this done in the evening so that I would have the time to give to the Rays during the day. So again, I'm doing the best I know how to do. I am absolutely thankful that all of you are here with me. I just never thought it was going to get like this. And just me, you're right. If I slow the chat down, then people can't comment as much. I want everyone to be able to type in right in that moment whatever they're wanting to say. And yes, I'm doing the best I can to read them all. But if you really want to help OKJ out, don't rewatch it after I post it. Just put it in the comments what you wanted to ask me. And if I have the answer when I go back to look at the comments, then I'll answer. Or, if you've got a comment that you wanted to say, that you wanted to share with me. I read all the comments, y'all. I read them all. Maybe not on the live stream because they're going so fast, but if you'll leave comments on a rewatch, okay, Jay, I absolutely read them all. All right, it's been 14 minutes, y'all. Thank you, Ronnie. Yes, Starry Crown, and most everyone on this chat is very helpful and considerate and respectful, and I appreciate that. I really do. I mean, y'all are going to think this is me tooting my own horn, but I can tell you this right now. The people that have shown up for me over these last 2 years are the best of the best. They really are. They're articulate. They really know how to express themselves and what their thoughts are on specific data or facts. This goes back to research analysis in you. So I feel like I'm blessed. I feel like, wow, I've got some people in here that can help me and can educate me if I don't know something. And that is true, Jackie Beardsley. My heart is with the victims and the family members. It breaks my heart. It hurts me. And as the Rays know, my way of dealing with it, everyone has different ways of dealing with it. My way is to be supportive of a victim's families, and I've shown that through my time, money. I plug, difficult research, Crusher K. Easton, because what she has to say is a hell of a lot more important than what I've got to say. And I do what I can, but when it comes to this trial and this case and these characters, these cult characters, the way I deal with it is I make fun of them because it filters the negativity through me. If that makes sense at all. That's why I do what I do. When I get angry, instead of... Y'all wouldn't really want to see me really angry. Like, really angry. You wouldn't want to see it. And I haven't had to be that way for years and years because, number one, I've got a really awesome husband who's my best friend, and we get along just fine. We don't fight. We don't argue. We don't lift our voices. But when it comes to those uncomfortable feelings, I do. I guess I probably try to lighten things up for myself and for others. I've always made myself clear that I would never, ever, ever make fun of this case. I know that this is a heartbreaking thing for these families. So, that's right, Kim. We are the Rays. I love you, daughter of Scotland. That's good, Jax. Because once you say something to someone you love out of anger or whatever, you can ask for forgiveness and you'll get it because that person loves you, but you can't take it back once it's been said. All you can do is apologize and hope that they don't hold on to whatever it was that you said that hurt them. And don't get me wrong. Just because my husband and I get along doesn't mean that OKJ hadn't stuck my foot in my mouth and said and done things in my life that I wished I could take back. And I could do it down the road. I could do it today sometimes. But I try to really watch myself. So it's been 18 minutes, y'all. And Jag fan, what am I getting for lunch today? There really isn't anything in here that I want. I'll probably have either a bowl of Raisin Bran or some Frosted Mini Wheats because I'm not feeling anything else right now, but I know I've got to eat. If I don't talk myself into that, I'll probably have some Ritz crackers with some cheese on it. I won't eat nothing heavy like I did yesterday. Boy, I chowed down. I didn't ask Wayne to bring me that, but I'll tell you what, I ate it, and it was good. But, no, I'm probably going to eat something light around lunch. Spread Love Not Hate says, I just ate some Frosted Flakes. Astra says, Melanie niece has gone, left Idaho. You think? Where'd you hear that from, Astra? Melanie left Idaho? Curly Shirley, the reason I bring it up about not being able to answer everyone's comments is I want everyone on here to know that I really care about what you got to say. And if I can't get to it, I don't want anyone to feel like they're not welcome or that I'm ignoring them. That's the only reason I say that. I know how it feels to feel like people ignore. I've had lots of people ignore me in my life, and I've had people not make me feel welcome. And I wouldn't want anyone to feel that way. Well, I guess if I'd have stopped running my mouth. Melanie Pulowski will not testify today. She left Idaho yesterday. Ian has left the courthouse and is on his way home. It's unclear if she has been released from her subpoena. So she gets to be unscathed, just like Melanie Gibbs, Zulema, David Warwick. These cult members get to go on with their lives. And I'll tell you something, y'all. That right there, I cannot say, even with, if Lori gets convicted on all charges, if Chad gets convicted on all charges, there will never, ever be 100% complete justice for OKJ. And it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. It really is. Y'all saw me get a little emotional yesterday. It bothers me a lot that these people are not being held accountable. And it's just, it's bad. It just is. Isn't it, y'all? You know, we've all said over the last 2 years, maybe, just maybe, they'll slip up and do something else and end up in jail. Or maybe the state will go after them in other ways. I don't see it happening. And I guess all I can say at this point, since it is exactly how it's playing out, is that, you know, maybe there's this little itty bitty hope in KJ's mind that these people that would believe this shit, maybe they've learned a lesson. But it's highly doubtful, because if they'll believe that and go through all of that and be part of all that, they'll go and be part of something else. And I'm just saying that I wouldn't want to live near any of them. Melanie P. would not, I don't think Melanie Pulowski would confront Lori. We do know from yesterday, wasn't it, that, or was it this morning, where Melanie Pulowski said the nail's already in Lori's coffin? What was she saying that for? Y'all don't need me. Lori's going to go down anyway. She just doesn't want people to know how messed up she was, to not take up for JJ and Tylee. Those were her family members. And if she loved her Aunt Lori so much to say, and I put it on the community wall, it's a quote from Melanie Pulowski, who said, I would rather go to jail for 20 years than turn on my Aunt Lori. The bottom line is where was her devotion to JJ and Tylee? She failed those kids, says Laney the Wolf. I believe it. She doesn't. She doesn't want to face the part that she played. Yes, I'll tell you, what message is this sending to other people? That you're only going to get the big fish. You're going to get the cult leaders here, but you're not going to get the cult members. And we're not talking about that these cult members committed the murders or conspired to even murder. But they, all of them, every damn one of them, lied to law enforcement. Hell, you got Melanie Gibb over here on the stand in Chad's preliminary hearing admitting it. But she ain't admitting it in here, is she? She can lie to police, which is against the law. And make no mistake, y'all. I'm sure Melanie Pawlowski, when she met with the FBI, you don't lie to the feds. They're getting away with it. And it sends a message. Oh, we all know why Melanie Pawlowski has left Idaho. If she was still under subpoena, she wouldn't, well, maybe she would have left, but, you know, maybe the state could have said, you need to come back in our rebuttal case or something like that. But the bottom line is the reason that Melanie Pawlowski is not testifying, y'all, is because she broke the exclusionary rule. And she did it on purpose. And you know what? When you receive a subpoena and it tells you not to do these things, there should be penalties for that. You should be held in contempt of court. I'm not saying she should get jail time for contempt of court, but she should pay a damn fine or something. I would not hold my breath, y'all, that Melanie Pawlowski is going to be saved for Chad Daybell's trial. I wouldn't. Because this isn't just about her not wanting to get on the stand because she loves her Aunt Lori. This has to do with she don't want to get up there in public and tell everyone what a freaking nut job she is. At least Audrey Bartario has enough guts to get on the stand and say, yes, I was Joanna. I was married to Jesus Christ. Give me a break. Give me a break. Well, when they say that Judge Boyce is going to rule on whether is going to review the insurance agent's file until 10:45, it's 4 minutes after that. I mean, what are y'all doing over there? Yeah, Shanbana, yeah, she's going to have to live with it. Oh, I'll tell you something, Joe Jordan. They're playing patty cake. I'll tell you one thing right now. When Chad Daybell goes to prison, he's going to be playing patty cake a lot. Patty cake, baker's man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. You know it. You know it. Old Bubba's going to be the baker. He's going to be the Chef Boyardee man. That's who old Bubba's going to be. He's going to say, come on, Chad. Let's cook, baby. Oh, yeah. Chad's going to know all about patty cake. Oh. Oh. You know, Bubba loves those buns. He likes some nice fresh buns. That's what old Bubba likes. uh, well, I'll tell you what, Julie Thompson. That little gherkin might not be impressive for old Bubba, but Bubba don't care about the size of Chad, don't you know? But Chad's going to know exactly. He's going to know exactly the size of Bubba. You can be sure. Bouncy Bubby bounce. Chad is going to be the rump roast. I'm sure Bubba will give Chad plenty of dipping sauce. Oh. Chatty cake, chatty cake, chatty cake. Oh, we're back, says someone. Ew. Well, I don't see it here, but I'm sure it'll be back in a second. Ain't gonna be no jail time for these cult members. Yeah, okay, here we are, y'all. Good. We're back in the courtroom. Thomas has a concern the health insurance information this witness is testifying about was not provided to the defense. Turns out it was, but to Lori's prior attorney. Thomas says he and Archie has not seen it, but do have it. So what? We're going to take another break so they can go over it? This is so stupid. That's what pretrial is all about, y'all. So again, this health insurance information that this witness is testifying about was not provided to the defense, but it turns out that it was Lori's prior attorney, y'all, Mark Maines. Thomas says he and Archie have not seen it, but do have it. Right, Ashley Shannon. I'm tired of this stalling stuff. It's giving me a splitting headache. Oh, Lord. Marilyn, you're right. That's a great point. Your heart goes out to the jurors. Well, think about what these jurors are having to deal with. This bull crap, all these sidebars, all of this recess and all this other stuff. These people want to get through the damn trial so they can go home and hope that they don't keep the images of these dead children in their head. The one thing Judge Boyce needs to understand is the comfort of all these jurors, if he can make it as comfortable as possible for them. Because God knows it's not comfortable for these jurors to have to see what they're seeing. Ballard talks about a phone call she had with Chad in December of 2019. Ballard says, he called me because he wanted to make sure to pay his premiums for January. I told him I never heard back from him on the email I sent him for the quotes. We went over the options and he picked a plan, she says. Chad only obtained insurance for himself and his son Mark. On March 11th of 2020, Chad went into the Ballard's office. His original inquiry was to obtain health coverage for his new wife. So, Chad's been married to Lori since November 5th of 2019. And she gets a call from Chad the next month in December of 19. And he wanted to make sure his premiums were paid. He never says anything about adding his wife or anything. This was about himself and his son Mark. And then move ahead to March 11th of 2020. And Lori's already in jail, y'all. Chad went into the Ballard's office. His original inquiry was to obtain health coverage for his new wife. So I don't know what Nate is actually saying there. His original inquiry was over the new wife. And I guess this goes into, y'all, why hadn't that damn asshole divorced his wife? And why hadn't she divorced him? Chad said he got married on November 5th. He said his new wife was incarcerated. And he was really worried about something happening to her. Ballard says she didn't qualify to enroll because it was outside of the 60-day window from the marriage date. He's really worried that something's going to happen to Lori. Oh my goodness. Chad said they had moved from Hawaii. Moving into a new state is a qualifying event. And Chad asked about dental coverage for himself, Lori, and Mark. Now, isn't that special? Chad wants to make sure Lori has dental insurance. You know why? He was worried about something happening to her. I'll tell you what. Yeah, she was kept off by herself for safety reasons. But when her ass goes to prison, someone's going to knock them damn veneers right out of her damn mouth. Yeah, Chad Daybell. Was you damn worried about Tylee's teeth? Y'all just remember how they found Tylee and how they were able to get a really good DNA sample from one of JJ's molars. And here we have this son of a bitch wanting dental insurance for him, his son, and his new hussy wife, his damn concubine. And he's so damn worried because she's incarcerated. Well, Chad, you and Lori murdered all these people, and you thought you were going to be in the free and clear. You know, he told Lori not to say anything to law enforcement, and this is according to Rob Wood, telling Summer Shiflett this. He felt like if nobody ever found those children, everything was going to be all right. And this, again, for those that don't know, Chad Daybell had been calling around to get a concrete slab poured on his property. Wonder what that was for, y'all. He says it was for a possible modular home. Yeah, it was to conceal those bodies. That's what he was going to do. Ballard said Chad looked thinner and tanner in March from when she had last seen him in November. He wrote on a sticky note, Lori Ryan Daybell, when asked what his new wife's name was. Ballard asked if there were any children that needed to be insured, and Chad said no. Rollins has no further questions. Chad Daybell, he didn't have to provide insurance for JJ and Tylee because he murdered them. So did Lori. And by the way, if they'd have let JJ and Tylee live, they were getting Social Security benefits. JJ was getting help. He wouldn't have had to provide him with anything. In fact, if Lori wouldn't have murdered him with his help, JJ would have went back to Kay and Larry. Tylee could have went off to college or went with Kobe or even Summer Shiflett. Now that she's the legal representative of Tylee, Lori and Chad had all these options to allow those children to live. But that's not what they did. That's not what they did. John Thomas now cross-examining Ballard. He asked Ballard what Chad's income was when he went into the insurance. She recalled Chad telling her that his income without his wife was $20,000 a year. And remember, y'all, earlier testimony, he said it was $20,000 a year, which he lied about. $20,000 a year. So that tells you everything you need to know about, even though, as you recall, that Alice Gilbert woman said that Tammy had said something in the past about things were tight and all that. But I'm telling y'all, poor Tammy. I just feel so bad for her. She deserved better than Chad Daybell. Ballard says Chad told me they wouldn't have any income, but health and welfare interface $30,000. Thomas has no further questions. Rollins has no redirect, and the witness is released. So Chad Daybell told this insurance person $10,000 less so he could get some government assistance. Butterbean, you're right. Tammy was a saint. And my husband overheard me, by the way, Butterbean, say your name, and one, because he was listening to it. He said, "Oh, that's cool." I said, "Yeah, I do. I like that name, Butterbean. In fact, I love butterbeans. I can eat the hell out of a butterbean now. I'll tell you, I love butterbeans. That's a cool name. All y'all got really cool names." Who's the next witness, y'all? Jenny Benny says, "I love butter beans too." I really like that. I believe it, Bethy Boop. You think Chad Daybell was the one who handled the finances? I'm sure he was the one that Tammy had to go to if she wanted anything, but she's the one that balanced everything. And by the way, their finances were not very good. They had filed bankruptcy a couple of years before or something to that effect. Yeah, I love butter beans and ham, Tina. Now I'm getting hungry. I don't know if those frosted mini wheats are going to do it for me. But I'm not going to get no butter beans either. Okay, here we go, y'all. Angela Yancey is the next witness. Rollins will question Yancey. Yancey worked at Sugar Salem School District as the payroll and benefits administrator. So what kind of testimony are we going to get from this Angela Yancey, who works for Sugar Salem School District as the payroll and benefits administrator? Hi, Loinfire. Yes, y'all, someone's got a YouTube name called Loinfire, if you want to believe it. Loinfire, we were just talking about that new STD out. We're not talking about you, but we're talking about the new STD that's called the Loinfire STD. I guess if you haven't heard it, you might want to rewind it. I thought it was funny anyway. At least something silly to kill our time while these people continue to damn drag their ass. Yancey conducted benefit meetings during open enrollment each year. Benefit plans were discussed along with life insurance policies. Open enrollment started in August and ran through the middle of September. So remember, Rays, when y'all said maybe Chad forged the increase on that life map? And I said that was September 8th, Sunday, September 8th, same day the kids were at Yellowstone with Lori and Alex. And I said, no, the indictment says Tammy actually approved that increase in her life map. But some of y'all Rose was like, well, KJ, you don't really know for sure. He could have done it. But maybe this is what she's going to confirm to us, that she actually did. Because the open enrollment was August and September, y'all. Open enrollment started in August and ran through the middle of September. And you know, old Chatty boy, he had to get on it real quick because he had a wedding he had to attend in November, don't you know? He had to have some money to spend on his damn ukulele and his hooker. The Journey to Justice says lazy Chad. Okay, folks, Tammy Daybell made a change to her life insurance plan in September of 2019. Rollins shows an insurance form on the big screen. This is a change form to her voluntary life insurance, Yancey says. Yeah, that's right. Chad did refer to Lori as wealthy. Yeah, she's wealthy in the damn... Oh, I don't know if I should say it, but I think I'm going to. She's so wealthy in the dang... Oh, I ain't gonna do it, y'all. I'm not. I can't. I know. Gene P., I guarantee you Tammy paid her premiums. Chad sure as hell didn't help her do it. He didn't help her pay her premiums. He just took her damn life and took the damn money and ran. Black Cat says Lori met her evil partner there. Right, T-Diva 01. Chad and Lori both killed their dang, the people that had been taking care of them financially and every other way. Tammy was hired by the school district in 2017. She elected the minimum amount of $10,000 worth of life insurance. She made no changes in 2018. In 2019, Tammy requested an increase and signed the form. Chad also signed it because she elected spouse coverage. Poor Tammy. She had not a clue, y'all. Some of y'all say, well, KJ, she might have known. She might have known that Chad had already told her, I see you dying before you're 50 or at least a young age. Well, you know, Samantha William would have said something that Tammy had spoke with her about that. So I don't think Tammy increased her insurance because she knew she was going to die. I think she did it because she was trying to be responsible. She loved her husband and her family. That's what I think. The form was signed, y'all, on September 8th of 2019, as I've said. The life insurance increase went into effect on September 1st. Once the change went into effect, Tammy elected the maximum amount, which was 5 times her salary, and then added an additional option. A total amount was now $130,000. Now, let's stop there for a minute. Tammy elected the maximum amount, which was 5 times her salary, and then added an additional option. I guess Chad must have talked her into that, said he's probably going to be able to take care of that. Tammy, go ahead and do it. I'm going to be hitting the book scene here. I'm selling my books, Tam. Starry Crown, I would have thought, it's just common sense, that the law enforcement and the investigation would have checked to see if that was Tammy's signature. That would have been one of the first things they would have probably looked at in terms of all the financial crimes. Is this a fraudulent signature or not? Now, could Chad Daybell sign something just like his wife? Maybe. Now, just remember, y'all, it was signed on September 8th, which is on a Sunday. So Tammy and Chad were at home doing that while Lori, Alex, and the kids were at Yellowstone having one last family deal before Tylee was murdered. Chad visited Yancey the Monday morning after Tammy died, 2 days previous. So 2 days after Tammy's dead, Chad visits Yancey. Over her career, Yancey has helped employ families about 15 times with life insurance. In her experience, it was unusual for Chad to come that soon to claim the life insurance. Yancey explained a life claim could not be submitted until they had a death certificate. And Chad responded, "That's okay. I've already ordered 8 of them." Chad ordered 8 death certificates, y'all. Yancey had never heard of someone ordering 8 death certificates. At the most, she had heard about 3. Right, Saltina. 8 death certificates. So what, does he want to give his 5 children each a copy of the death certificate? So 2 days after Tammy dies, he goes in there, and then all that was said that I just said, ordering 8 death certificates and stuff. So October 25th is 6 days after Tammy's death. Chad returned on October 25th, but Yancey was out of town, so Chad was told to come back on October 30th. So he was running up against it, y'all. He was told to come back October 30th. There's one more day in October, which is Halloween, and then you got the 5 days into, so it's 6 days, y'all. 6 days before he's supposed to be in Hawaii marrying that damn hooker. He wants to get his damn money, don't y'all know? Well, thank you, Virginia. So when he was told on October 25th to come back on October 30th, Chad returned on October 30th with a beneficiary statement. Yancey completed a form, attached the death certificate, and all of the information was sent to the life insurance policy. Again, the total amount paid out for the claim was $130,000, the maximum amount that could be requested for an employee in Tammy's position. Rollins has no further questions. John Thomas will cross-examine. Yeah, Butterbean. Chad had to make Lori happy. But hey, I'll tell you, Lori had been telling Chad she was wealthy. Well, Chad, by the time Chad heard her say on that text message, I'm still going to get the $4,000 a month. He knew he was going to have to be the one to shower Lori in order to keep getting what he was getting from her, if you know what I mean. Cindy Kay says 8 death certificates is not unusual for each kid, and then you need others for this and that. So, but this woman, she's testified that 3 at the most in her experience. But you know, you're probably right. I thought about that too. They had 5 kids, so that would leave 3 more. So, I mean, I don't have my mother's death certificate. But I know she's in heaven. Thomas asked if Chad and Tammy came in together to fill out the beneficiary form before Tammy died. And Yancey says not to her knowledge. Thomas goes over the history of Tammy's life insurance plan with the school district. And that was September 8th when it was signed, y'all. It was a Sunday. That insurance office or the lady who works at the school there, nothing would have been opened at that time, even if they'd wanted to. So they must have done it online or something, or not online, but signed it in their home and then brought it back. Vicky McNutt, there was more than one life insurance policy. That's why Chad is faced with, I think, 2 or 3 counts of insurance fraud. So there was more than one. One of them was for $300,000, and the other one was for $130,000. So it was $430,000 paid out total. I mean, honestly, y'all, the updating stuff or re-enrolling was August through September. The fact remains is it doesn't seem, I'm not leaning toward anything nefarious about Chad committing signature fraud on insurance policies. I really believe Tammy was aware. I think she was aware, and I think she signed it. But that's just my theory. And I don't see anything nefarious about that. Again, this goes back, y'all. After everything these 2 nut jobs did, along with the cult members, everything looks nefarious when you look back on it. But the bottom line is, even in the murder indictment from the state of Idaho they're saying Tammy did sign it. So unless they got fooled because Chad knew how to sign Tammy's name perfectly, I take the state's word for it that Tammy signed it. And yes, dodging bullets, I believe he talked her into it. I'm not saying there was that, but I think he did. He probably talked to her about it. For the $10,000 life insurance plan, employees paid a little over $1 a month. For the $75,000 plan, it cost employees $14.70 a month. Yancey says different employees chose different plans, and open enrollment is one time a year when plans can change. And Thomas has no more questions. So again, y'all, you only get one chance a year. So it would seem, whether they decided to do it or not, you would know, hey, we only get to do this once a year, so we need to focus. Do we want to do this or we don't want to do this? Because you only get one shot at it every year. So that makes all the sense to me. Yeah, Jill Schneider. Yeah, they probably did discuss it. And they probably discussed it every year that she worked there during enrollment time. And maybe this was normal. Every year, you know, they talked about it or whatever, or they made a decision to do something or not to do something. And maybe this was just another year of doing that. Right, Diamond Eyes. Tammy was not in poor health. She wasn't in poor health, but, you know, folks, people get life insurance when they're in great health. Because guess what? We're all going to die. Every damn one of us. Everybody in the world is going to die, okay? So, life insurance, I mean, I've got it. My husband's got it. The next witness is Detective Colin Nesbitt. He works with the Kauai Police Department, and Rachel Smith will be questioning him. And y'all are going to hear Miss Kitty meowing and meowing if I don't go open the door, so I'll be right back. Come on if you're coming. You're sitting here whining. Yeah, I know. I know. So we have a Detective Colin Nesbitt, and he works with the Kauai Police Department. So we're going to get to see how Lori and Chad were over there doing the hula, what is it? Oh, we're going to a hookia, hooky, 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 hookia. We throw our nets out into the sea, and all the amas come swimming to me. Y'all remember that song? Some of you older people do anyway. Okay, here we go, y'all. Nesbitt explains his professional background. He says on January the 25th of 2020, he was assisting Rexburg Police in serving a legal document to Lori. He says they all flew over to Hawaii to whatever their investigation was in the matter. They asked for assistance in help locating and serving the hussy. So this is when Chad and Lori, y'all, we saw those, they released those photos of Chad and Lori leaving their little bungalow there, wearing hats and everything else, trying to be inconspicuous. They didn't want no one to know where they were, huh? Well, they got busted. I'm assuming, y'all, that this Nesbitt guy is going to tell us about what was found in Lori's vehicle or what was found in the bungalow there. I don't know. I might be right. I might be wrong. Police located Lori at a condo in Princeville, y'all. She was in the pool area with Chad. She was at the pool area getting on with her life, don't y'all know? What happened to her kids was a couple of months ago. She doesn't want to be alone. She wants to be happy. She wants to move on with her life. And here she is. The police locate Lori at a condo in Princeville, and she was at the pool area with Chad. And Nesbitt went with another detective and lieutenant to serve the papers to Lori. They gave her a copy of the papers, and the officers asked if she had any questions. And the interaction was recorded, y'all, and given to the Rexburg Police Department. Yee! What is Lori going to get on there when they ask her, hey, you got any questions? What do you think Lori would have said? I don't understand. I'm just here in Hawaii at the pool here. Why are y'all serving me with this? I would have loved it if they would have said, hey, where's your kids at, Lori? What was she going to say to them? They're at, that JJ's at Frozen 2? Huh? What is she going to tell them? That Tylee's off at BYU, Idaho? Let's find out, shall we? The interaction was recorded and given to the Rexburg Police Department, y'all, and Smith asked to admit a thumb drive with the video recording he had with Lori. Smith will now play the body cam video for the jury. Let's see if the jury can see that smug-ass look on that hooker's face. Let's see if the jury can see her lounging in her freaking pool chair. Nice, says Heatley. Yes, says Miss Frisco Wynn. Dodging Bullets says Boyce won't allow it in. No, she's playing it. Dodging Bullets. She's playing it. Does she, Tessie Cooper? Don't spoil it. No comment. I guess Lori would probably say, no comment, you're right. That's probably what she said. Can't I just have a little bit of an imagination, though, that maybe Lori is going to say something stupid like she always does?
Hell you.
Love you.
See you in a while.
Okay. You know you just came back here just to see me.
Give you a kiss.
Yeah.
Love you, honey.
Love you, babe. Yeah, Happy Go Ducky. This is one we haven't heard. Looking forward to this. Yeah, and you're right. The audio is going to be better than whatever Nate says here. Just looking. Hi, Wayne. Sorry, y'all. Wayne, he's in and out. He just drives from job site to job site, and if he's in the area, he'll come by. Because he leaves me here every day early, and I don't see him for a while. He does. He loves me, and I love him. He's my best friend. He knows me better than anybody else. That's scary, though. MM says, I wonder what the judge is going to think. Well, it doesn't really matter what the judge thinks. If it's admissible and it's played in the courtroom, I think we need to all wonder what the jurors are thinking. But I understand what you're saying. We've been married 14 years, Mrs. D. 14. We've been together longer than that. He is, Cindy K. He's my little, I call him my toasty. Or I call him my molasses chew. And I also call him my honey bunny. I love him. Terms of endearment, right? Come on now, we want to hear what, it says Smith will now play the body cam video for the jury. We want to know what's on it. The Betty Boop says Lori will be shouting knives, fire, earthquakes. Wow. Married 39 years in July. And he's still your best friend, says Just Looking. Well, Wayne and I found each other later in life, and we don't think we're going to have any kind of anniversaries like that. We see things pretty realistically. Although I do believe Wayne will outlive me. All right, y'all, you ready? Here it goes. You ready for the blow by blow? Huh? The video shows Chad and Lori lying on chairs by the pool. They're both in swimming suits. The officer hands Lori the paperwork and says, "Do you have any questions regarding that?" Chad sits up and leans over. Lori says she doesn't have any questions, and the officers leave. In the courtroom, Lori stared intently at the monitor on their table as the video was played. And you know she was staring because she knows she's never going to be back in Hawaii again. And she's not going to get a piece of that nasty-ass gherkin either. They busted your ass, Lori. They served your ass, and it was from there the shit was on. You want to run from your damn murder of your children? Well, it was boring, y'all. I can't help it. I'm just reading what he says. That was it. Jed, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. Darn. Judy Burgess. Lori will never set foot in Hawaii again. The closest she's going to get to anything like that is when she's in the shower room at the women's prison and she's closing her eyes and pretending to be in Hawaii, and she has somebody step in the shower with her that's some other person, and you know, she gets to do a little role playing there. Y'all know it. You know it. The paperwork was served on January the 25th of 2020. Nesbitt was then assigned with a team to serve a search warrant on Chad and Lori's vehicle. At the condo on January the 26th, when officers went to execute the warrant, they were found driving the vehicle 30 minutes from Princeville. Well, there ain't many places, unless you're hopping islands. There ain't many places for them to go, is it? They thought they were going to go into Hawaii. What were they going to go into Hawaii and see the doomsday through there? Give me a break. Oh, hiding out in Hawaii like no one's ever going to ever ask where the children are again. And by the way, Kay Woodcock, her brother was murdered by you, Lori, and Kay's just going to go, oh, well, let's forget it. No, Kay wasn't going to give it up. Kay Woodcock was she was going to see it through, not just for the child welfare, but also for the murder of her brother, Charles Vallow. And, you know, this whole just trying to picture things, you know, with Chad wearing a swimsuit, that's nasty. That's just nasty. That's disgusting. And Lori, well, I don't know what kind of swimsuit she was wearing, but everything inside that swimsuit is so wore out. I'm sure Chad was banging it real good. Police initiated a traffic stop when Lori was driving. Officers gave her the search warrant, allowed her to take items she might need from the car like cash or medicine. Nesbitt says they looked through her purse and saw a credit card with the name Tylee Ryan on it. Yeah, Lori was using Tylee Ryan's card, y'all. It's disgusting. You know, she's telling Summer Shiplet, oh, the murder of the kids happened months ago. I want to be happy. I don't want to be alone and all of that. I got to move on with my life. But she wanted to move on with her life, still taking JJ and Tylee's money. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. They are. They're sickos, Butterbean. Yeah, I don't know why this thing should be on. Y'all, if this thing gets cut off because of my battery, I've got it plugged up and everything. But if it gets cut off, I'll see y'all after lunch. I'm still going to try here. But, damn. The name stood out to Nesbitt because he knew Tylee was missing. Police put Tylee's card on the front seat and the vehicle was then searched by officers. Evidence was bagged and tagged. Photos were taken during the search warrant. Smith asked to admit 26 photos from the search. So we're probably going to get descriptions of 26 photos, y'all, of the search. Check this out. Should be low battery. Can y'all hear me okay? Let me know that you can hear me okay. I'm sorry, but I just got to know. Okay, thank you. All right. I had a little blip in my phone there. Yes, it does. Streaming does eat up the battery. And I didn't have it 100% charged when I put it on there, but I thought if it's plugged in, it's going to give me something. All right, now here we go. Nate Eaton is reminding all of us of his famous interview there, whatever you want to call it, where he says, on a personal note, as the search warrant was being executed, I was standing off to the side, wondering if I would get a chance to talk with Chad and Lori. A few minutes later, I did, and that's when he was telling Lori and Chad, where are the children? Where are the children? And telling Lori all that. Y'all remember that. Boy, I'll tell you, Nate Eaton, he did it to it. He did it. They didn't have much to say, that's for sure. Yes, he was. Go Nate, says Janelle Murphy. Yeah. He sure is. Mark McGarry says it was pure chance that he was there. It was the perfect thing. In fact, if it wouldn't have been for that, that was where a lot of people were like, who are these people? And that's when everyone saw that. Where Nate was walking down the sidewalk with them, it blew up. I mean, after that, it blew up. Just Three Goldens is asking the question, what meds would she have had? Maybe birth control pills? Maybe what you say, Chad's Viagra? Or could it have been their little stash of GHB to give them more of a sensual experience? I remember Rob Wood said to Summer Shiflett, he said Chad looked like he pissed himself. Y'all remember that? Lori had a brave face. He was trying to be nice about it with Summer. But the bottom line is Lori looked like a diabolical, evil hussy. That's what she looked like. And Chad looked like a little wimp following after her. Whooped. Absolutely pussy whooped. Heidi's mind says Thorazine. What is Thor? A hormone replacement, says Rainy April. Whoops, says DD Chillin 420. Antipsychotic, says Kim. Psychotic drug, says Gloria Fritz. It's a sedative, says Lisa Fisher. It's a psych med, says Donna Krantz. Joe Kelly says it's the stuff they give them when they're in the asylum. Kelly Fitzgerald says, not sure why either one of them would need meds since it's the end of the world. Well, what about this? They're lowercase g's. When Lori walked in pre-trial with those stupid Dollar Tree glasses on, I thought a lowercase g who's becoming a translated being wouldn't need glasses. Glasses are for folk like me who can't see their hand in front of their face unless they wear them. And I can tell you here, I can't give you an exact number, y'all. I can't do it. But this Lori and Chad becoming translated and all that, I can't give you an exact number, but I can guarantee you they've had thousands of shits since they've been in jail. And every time they have to sit down on that pot and pinch one off, when they have to pinch one off, they were reminded. They're reminded not only that they've eaten something that translated beings don't have to eat, and also that it goes through their physical body and it comes out their ass, okay? I'm just telling you. These two pinch those evil turds right out there behind y'all. And I bet it smells up the whole cell block. I'm going to tell you what, Chad's in big trouble. If he don't dang find a way to make his shit not stink, he gets in there in that prison and Bubba's smelling that, it's going to piss Bubba off. I'm telling y'all. And Lori, on the other hand, before it's all said and done, did y'all see that interview of that woman that spent time with her in jail? It was just recently. She did an interview where she says Lori was taking socks and putting them on her hands before she went into the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare for 10 months. She says she didn't do it all day, but she put socks on her hands and was playing puppets with them. Well, I'm going to tell you what, by the time Lori gets to prison, she's not going to be using her socks for puppets anymore. She's going to be using her socks to wipe off the feces off the wall that old Brenda down here put all over her wall. So here we go with these photos that Rachel Smith has admitted into evidence. The first photo shows the front of the black SUV Chad and Lori were renting. The second image shows inside the driver's seat with Lori's purse on the seat. Nesbitt says Tylee's card is no longer on the front seat. He assumes when they loaded the SUV onto the tow truck, the car slid off the seat because it was later found in the crack between the driver's seat and the door. The Bethy Boop, there is an interview from a girl who wasn't in the same cell with her, but she was a little ways across the way. She could see Lori in her cell, and she did. It's on YouTube. It's an interview. I don't know what you would type in for that. Cellmate and Lori Daybell or something like that. It's funny as crap, really. I'm sure that was just an act for Lori Don't y'all think? She wanted to be sent, so she started playing with sock puppets. Hi, I'm Chad. Hi, I'm Lori. Oh, wait a minute. I am James, and you are Elena. I am Raphael, and you are Sybil, or whatever the hell her name was. The next photo shows Tylee's card in the crack between the seat and the door. The next image is close-up of the Visa credit card. Tylee Ryan's name is clearly on the card. The next picture shows the back of the credit card. The next photo is Lori's cell phone found in the side pocket of her purse. The phone was seized. Lori's, I guess one of her phones was seized, huh? Didn't she have up like to 18 of them or something like that? So we are looking now, y'all, at photos when they did a search warrant on Lori and Chad's rental vehicle in Hawaii. Here we go. Y'all want some damning shit? Here it comes. The card and phone were bagged and tagged, then sent to Rexburg police. The next photo shows the rear passenger side of the vehicle. On the bottom of the floor, there's a blue and white striped bag. Nesbitt says the bag had several personal documents, birth certificates, death certificates, a marriage certificate, a rental agreement, and guess what, y'all? A patriarchal dream, a patriarchal blessing, I meant to say. They got it in there, y'all. The patriarchal blessing. Now, isn't that sweet? It's so special, isn't it? It is gross, Jennifer Sukup. It's gross. It is, Butterbean. What the heck, says Vix Tech. DD Chillin is just thinking. Oh, brother, says Language of Horses. Sickening, says Jax Gustafson. Patriarchal blessing, Marvin says. I need coffee, says Kathy Hull. Really, Adam B. Just when you think you've heard it all. The next photo shows what was in the back of the SUV. There was a black JanSport backpack, and inside of that backpack, I seized 2 computers, says Nesbitt. Along with that, they found a great big black dildo. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, I was just seeing if y'all was listening. Yeah, it's just Robbie. That sucker was the size of a submarine. I just had to know whether y'all were listening or not. The next photo shows the items that were found inside the bag. They're personal documents, photos, and a book called Visions of Glory. He should have wrote a book called Visions of Hoary. I know, Sugar Magnolia. I probably shouldn't have said it. I could have used a different word. I could have said sex toy. That would have been a little less harsh. Don't y'all think? And it was Chad's, says John Shepard. He had to have it, didn't he? Because he didn't have nothing to contend with. And that dang thing was her hole was so big, he had to find some way for her to feel it. The next photo is of a phone that police seized. The next image is another phone. The next image is a phone with the initials, y'all. JJ written in red on the case. The following photo is the front of a tablet. Oh, it makes me so mad. She had to get on with her life, don't y'all know? So much so that she's got it. She's even, during this time, she's logging into his elementary school for what, I don't know what reason. This woman is a freaking sick puppy. It angers me. It angers me so much. Y'all, they found a phone with the initials JJ written in red on the case. I just want to beat her senseless. It's awful. And this woman wants to say in her alibi that was filed by Archibald that she didn't know before, she didn't know after, and she wasn't the principal in any of it. Yeah, right. Right. That's right, Vicki Johnson. Poor JJ and Tylee. So sad. It just makes me angry. She is a demon, Vicki. She's going to get hers in prison, says Roxy. Joanne, 77PL, why would she have it? Well, she wasn't going to throw it away. I don't know. I mean, as sick as this damn woman is, maybe it was a way to continue to conceal. You know, people called it or whatever. Or maybe as sick as she is, it's a trophy. It's disgusting. The next photo shows some of the personal papers police seized. On the left side of the photo, y'all, is Charles Vallow's death certificate. There were roughly 14 to 15 copies of the death certificate of Charles Vallow. The document on the left side of the photo shows the condo complex where Chad and Lori were staying. Now, somebody explain to me why that son of a bitch and that whore has got 14 to 15 copies of Charles Vallow's death certificate. What are they going to do? They're going to do some more scamming? What the hell? Why would they have 14 to 15 copies of Charles Vallow's death certificate? Does anybody want to try to figure that out? Scam, says Ann Gibson. That's what I'm thinking. Because he died all the way back in July. So this isn't about 8 copies and 5 of Tammy's death certificate to go to her kids. Because if he's died all the way back in July and she was going to hand these out to family members, don't you think she'd have done that already? They were going to use it. They were going to scam. That's what they were going to do. Bank accounts, other services that need to be turned on or off that Lori could control through the death certificate. Donna Donald says you need them to apply for benefits. They were up to something dodging bullets. I have to lean toward this. They were going to do some kind of scam stuff. The document on the, okay, the next photo shows J.J. Vallow's birth certificate and another copy of Charles Vallow's death certificate. So they've got J.J. Vallow's birth certificate and another Charles Vallow's death certificate. I'm gonna need time to figure out why she would need 15 to 18. I see what a lot of y'all are saying, that if there were all these outstanding things out here that she needed to send off, or I get that. But what I'm saying is none of that was done. And she had since July 11th of 2019, and here she is. It's already what? January of 2020? And she ain't done nothing yet? I mean, it's really, really creepy, y'all. It's creepy. Now we see a photo showing J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan's Social Security cards. This image also shows a receipt from the Madison School District with J.J. Vallow's name on it. We also see a birth certificate for Tylee Ryan. There is another birth certificate for J.J. Vallow. So there's 2 birth certificates for J.J. Vallow in there, along with a birth certificate of Tylee Ryan. Now, folks, why would she need to hold on to those? Her children have been murdered. She's not moving forward, and she's not going to have to do anything more, right? Other than she's got to send a copy of it or something when she renews her Social Security benefits or something? Kathy Barella says she had to keep the scam going for benefits, says Michelle Beningo. Back to Country says she could sell the Social Security cards to update the benefits, says Sugar Magnolia. Black Cat says benefits. I believe it. Mark McGarry says maybe life insurance forward. Maybe putting life insurance out on to say they're alive when they're not, and then collecting it, or what? Roxy says to keep up with the lies, to steal Tylee's identity. Mark McGarry says maybe scam is credit. Maybe they were going to take out more credit cards in Tylee's name, or even JJ's for that matter. Dodging Bullet says they would have gotten passports made in these names. Y'all, there's no logical, normal reason why they should have had this stuff. This had some nefarious scamming going on here. Dodging Bullet seems to think it's passports. John Ashu says life insurance on Chad. We now see Lori's lease agreement for her Rexburg apartment. We now see a written copy of a patriarchal blessing Chad gave to Alex. The next photo is a backpack. The next photo is an envelope with money. This was found inside the backpack. And y'all, I don't know who you was. Please forgive me. Remember you said you really wanted to know what was in Chad Daybell's backpack? Here you go, y'all. Thank you, Marta. You're amazing, too. Iffy Angel says change of address for benefits. You know, Charlie, I don't know how much money's in that envelope. Maybe they'll tell us. Jill Schneider says set up credit card or credit in the kids' names. Yin Yang says they are just so guilty. Oh, it's a different backpack. Okay. I sure hope the feds do something after all this is said and done, especially to these cult members. Lori and Chad ain't never getting out of it. They're going to be in jail for the rest, or prison the rest of their life, which is different than jail. That's right. The jury is seeing this. So what would Lori's reasoning be for having all of this stuff with her? Huh? I mean, if she put them somewhere and she thought they were safe and they weren't murdered, I mean, she's screwed. She's really screwed. That's right, Tipsy. Lori did say it. She's in her beauty pageant. She said she was a ticking time bomb. Boy, that's the understatement, isn't it? Now listen to this, y'all. The next image shows a document that has Lori's name on it with blue sticky notes all over the page. Nesbitt says he doesn't know what any of the sticky notes mean, but guess what, y'all? One of the sticky notes says Hiplos. The word on another sticky note says Brandon. The word below Brandon says Angle. A-N-G-O. I guess that was Brandon's new demon, huh? It's disgusting, y'all. These people can't keep their lies straight. They're freaking role-playing bullshit straight. They got to put it on sticky notes just to remember who they've called this person or that. What a crock of shit. Isn't that awful? Isn't that awful, y'all? It's craziness, says Jax. They struck out on old Brandon, but don't make no mistake, y'all. Brandon was they were still going to probably try to get a hold of Brandon anyway. They were going to try to. Melanie Pulowski was not going to allow Brandon Boudreaux to take her off of that insurance. And you can be sure that was in their final divorce decree. That insurance has to be on Brandon Boudreaux for one reason and one reason only, and that is for the kids. And Lori's going to try to figure out a way to get a hold of that down the road. Well, she didn't make it. She got busted. And Chad soon followed. Nesbitt can't see the sticky notes very clear on the screen. He is handed a hard copy of the exhibit. On the bottom sticky note, it says Gladius. 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 See, they got to make up new demon names, don't y'all know? But what's interesting about it is, you know, okay, Jay, I believe in demon possession, and I think they were getting these ideas from the demons that were already in them. Because, see, the bottom line, and this is just my belief system, that Chad and Lori were demon possessed, and demons know other demons, don't you know? So this whole idea that they just come up with these names off the top of their head, let me tell you what, Chad and Lori are the zombies, the demon-possessed people that they accused everybody else of being. Chad and Lori are the Dark Canes. Chad and Lori signed a contract with Satan. Just my opinion. The next photo shows a MacBook laptop and an HP laptop that were seized in the black backpack. Now, y'all, you know Chad Daybell had a black backpack, and there's a MacBook laptop and an HP laptop. And he's supposed to be a freaking author. He's supposed to be a writer. He's a shitty writer. But I think that backpack is Chad Daybell's. They are. They're the taco demons, Donald Krantz. Jill, they came up with the names, and you know, that's one thing that's ridiculous. It's another thing that all these stupid people, these cult members, actually believe this shit. I wouldn't be surprised back to country if Chad was wearing one of Charles Vallow's watches. I'm sure Lori pawned them off instead of giving them to his sons. All right, everybody. The next photo shows the back of the HP laptop. Smith asked Nesbitt if he participated in the search of Lori and Chad's condo. He says he did. He found a bag of silicone rings. I think some of y'all might know why I'm laughing, y'all. I found a bag of silicone rings. There was no evidence that children were there. Smith has no further questions. We are now breaking for lunch. Be back in about an hour with cross-examination from the defense. I love you all. I'll see y'all in an hour. I'm going to go in here and have me some frosted mini wheats. You better get something to eat too, or get them damn chores done. You hear? See you in an hour. I love you all, and keep on looking.